think that sometimes we run on emotions. We were trying to. Everybody is running to TV so they can have the pity party from people that people can pity them. I feel like a lot of things that he's doing. Okay, before it came out a week or a month ago, wasn't he running through problems when Barry was there? And wasn't he running into problem? How come he wasn't coming out and letting us know everything that he's going through? So I feel like these people, we have to be careful. We are trying to worship him now. Later on in life, I hope he doesn't become a problem. So let them do things accordingly to the law, follow the regulatory standard, make sure they comply with it, and from there, yeah, that so us trying to run on emotions and all of that, I just think that that's not good for us. I mean, I don't wish him bad. I don't, and I don't think any Nigeria wish him back. Because there's no data on people. If there's a sensor on how many people are supporting him or people that don't want him to be successful, I'm definitely sure probably majority of Nigeria, but I don't have that fact, so I can't say that. But I just want us not to run too much on emotion when it comes to these guys. It's like they will profit as long as they go, and that's what we want. We want people to go through different institutions that we have in Nigeria and follow the rule of law. That's what I had to say.
Remy, and Mike. So in Nigeria, you guys follow the law and the route. When is your refineries working? When is it going to start working? The last time I checked, Nigeria still have their own refinery.
Okay.
I'm still asking. I don't know that in Nigeria, you don't do things. You must follow the law. You must go to get it so that you will not be a problem. Then I ask. Before that refinery came, Nigeria, they have in Warri, they have in Port Harcourt, and they have in Kaduna. I asked Remy and Mike, when will it start working?
They never work
you
now.
people have been
I followed that.
We will start working from tomorrow.
I followed that. I followed that Port Harcourt refinery. I see the audio and the visual, but unfortunately, I guess at the end of the day, that guy is lying.
You see?
Also, no, listen. Don't crucify him totally. Really, they are doing a total new turnaround maintenance. But he coming now saying that they will start pumping petrol at social date, they did not realize it. He has said it twice now. So unfortunately, we will not believe in him anymore. In reality, they did really a lot of new items, a lot of new things. Unfortunately, I don't know why they are unable to pump it.
Remy, please listen.
Remy is talking as an insider. He's in Finland, though. What's happening?
What I know, you don't know.
Remy,
what you know,
you see
I don't
this
know.
thing. You see this thing you just said about.
I'm here, so that does not matter now.
Remy, you see this thing you just said about this refinery. The way you run this commentary now, this commentary has been going on for the past 10 years. You see the way you just said it now. They are doing something, they have republished something, they are working on it, but I don't really know when they will start producing. This is
you are right. So that is the
but I thought you people do things normally and straightforwardly. Or is it only on Dangote you
it's a complex country with so many difficulties.
You see?
Yeah, it's true. Because, for example, when you see that
continue the complex, continue, but stop inviting investors into your company if you are complex.
If you are able to, okay, go ahead.
The enough is enough. The way federal government coddles Dangote is enough. In my head, as you guys were talking, and I was reminiscing on the Kenyamon's effort with Airpeace. You remember when Airpeace, the UK route became open and everybody was celebrating, and Kiyama was jumping up and down trying to help this particular airline. Number one, because Air Peace has the capacity. Other airlines as well could as well join in if they had come with one voice or trying to, form what do you call it, an aviation where you have different airline coming together.
Yes.
But you
I
see,
think
because
other
that
local
airline
airlines
has that airline has capacity, the federal government was able to come in its defense. Now, government would not allow Air Peace to dominate. You can imagine when that UK route becomes open, um, African government now allow Air Peace to now making landing in every state in the country, Lagos, Ibadan, all the way down to the south. You will realize that the other players in the sector will become irate. Even right now, they believe that the federal government is coddling Air Peace for too much. That they should have given them.
In fact, another fact that will come on, and I'm waiting for that one to happen, and I will tell you
So,
soon. I
so
want to
the
see how
way
Remy, I'm trying to understand point Diwali is trying to make. What
the
can
way
you make the
federal
point?
government has coddled Dangote for so long, I think it's
Can
a
you
matter
explain how they
of time
coddling? Can you explain how they coddling?
because look at what is it called, former central bank governor did for
Emefiele.
honestly, if Emefiele had not been
Great
the
point.
head of
Great
that
point.
central bank, he would not have been able to secure the enough funding that he did the secures to build that refineries.
Right. Even federal
Okay, let me
government
ask you a
getting money.
question. Does Dangote pay tax to the government?
Of course, he is paying tax to
Okay,
the
so he's
government,
paying tax to the government. The government should not do anything back in
but the
return.
government gave
So
him
we, when
What
people
does
pay
that have
some
tax,
to do with
incentives.
building for
Some of
refinery?
the items that you saw him importing into that factory, into that
Nigeria has
refinery,
stake there.
so,
Nigeria has
some
stake in
Yeah,
some of
that's because
some of
they
Nigerian
those
help
state
him.
has stake
They
there.
gave him a
some of
billion
those
dollars.
equipment
That's because they help him out. That's why. That's why they have
custom
stake in
levies
it.
were not
why
paid
should
on
they not
those
help him, man?
equipment.
Is it not the job of the government of the country to help their industry to advance, to grow, so the industry can create jobs, and
Yeah,
then you
but
can
when
tax the
you see a
employment?
pattern
Uh,
where
you collect tax revenue from the employment from the people employed. I mean, I think this is
Mike,
common. I don't
Yeah,
it
understand.
but you
goes
just
beyond
saying
paying
now
tax.
that the government is not helping him,
It
and we
goes
just told
beyond
you they
paying
help
No,
tax.
him.
no. No one
Mike,
said no. We're saying that this issue with government going against him. That's what we are talking about. We're not saying they
The
never
government
help
is
him.
not going
regulatory,
against him.
the
See,
regulators are
maybe if you
going
get
against him, not the government.
government
The
is not
Yeah,
going
regulators
whoever
are
is
against
going
against
Dangote.
him.
against him, whether it's regulator or the government,
Yeah,
where
because he doesn't follow the
I'm
law.
very sure the everything hangs in the desk of the president, because there's some who's appointing regulator. It's not the president. It's not the government. What is this guy talking about?
How
So
can
They
if
you
the
go
think
government,
and
like this, Mike?
collect
How are you thinking
Dangote
like this?
refinery, go punish am.
This is why our institution is not working, because everything you push it to the president. While
Who
well,
says
you
that
don't want
government
the
is the
institution to
president
do
is the
their
one
job.
that there are some powerful players. Remember the video one man played this evening about how that man was connected to Tinubu administration. As a matter of fact, was one of the economic advisory council member, right? And the one man was trying to insinuate that there's chances that maybe because of his connection that all this war is going all out between the importers and then Dangote. And I think it was Kulata that said, look, these people have been engaging in business way before Dangote even decided to build this refinery. But the bottom line is that, look, people engage in legitimate business. Because you build refineries, other people will not go out of business because of you. And we cannot nationalize one person's business.
what kind of argument is that?
So
Abdul, please come in.
because one person's industry, then we must not look the other people's. We must focus on that particular
Adewale, in
individual.
business, do you know what they call creative disruption?
Wait, but we have a modular
Hold
refinery
on.
already, though,
In,
and
in,
they're not helping those people
Hold on,
out.
let's get from.
Adewale,
Hold on.
Adewale and Remi's argument is twisting my brain right now. Nigeria is a country that is in desperate need of a working refinery, and we're talking like a country with overcapacity. I'm confused. We
Don't be
all know the
confused
advantages of. We
because
all know the advantages. We
One,
all know the advantages of
Wait, let him land.
having.
they don't know what they are saying. One call.
because
On,
government the country is going
Ọ̀rọ̀
through
jẹun
desperate
jẹun ló ń
time
sọ ọ̀rọ̀
hold
mùtí.
on.
because
See,
the,
the
Ẹni tó ti
country.
mọ tí yó.
We. Hold on. Sorry. Let me just land my point
They
real
are a
quick.
greedy
Guys,
nation.
let
Their
him.
eye don't red as they see the thing Jangati
They don
standing
shark.
there.
They don shark for
Everybody
weekend.
eye don't red.
Wọ́n ti ṣá ògógóró yó àti.
Yes.
They don't
Wait,
know the thing wey dem dey talk.
that's the problem. Like what you're
Let's
What
let
saying now.
Abdul
Remy?
land his point. Abdul, go ahead, finish.
you people cannot see beyond now. You cannot see
But
beyond
let's let
Thank
Abdul
you.
make
the
his
I'm
point.
not
Then you
hardship.
saying
respond.
that. I
Diwali.
don't
You
want.
are you like Astrodamus,
So
Let Abdul make
actually,
his point.
I did not.
Adewale, it's you and Remy that cannot see beyond now, because your argument basically is we should maintain the status quo,
No, no,
or
nobody is
or
saying
wait,
that.
wait,
No,
wait, hold on,
government
You
is
have
hold
to
not
on. Am
saying
I?
Guys, let's
maintaining
allow
status
Abdul.
quo.
One voice, man. Let's allow Abdul. He just came in. He hasn't even. It's the first
Okay,
time he's
go
like.
ahead.
Just let him make
What
his
I
speech.
mean by what I mean by maintain the status quo is like we should manage the transition, because some crooks who have done nothing but make the situation worse will go out of business. That is a counterintuitive argument.
God bless you, my. I mean, I tire. Honestly, I'm
Well, I
so
don't
Okay,
think
tired.
anybody's
let
saying
me
So
let
would
me
you
ask
anything.
you a
prefer
Wait, he
question.
one
hasn't landed.
individual?
Let me hold on.
Would
Let
you
me
hold
would
on.
you
Get
pre-
across first.
would you prefer one individual
yes,
being in charge
exactly. I
of
was
refinery?
No,
I
Be,
tire.
Well,
Oh,
guys,
I
let's
tire.
let
Oh.
Abdul just get across, man.
with
Let's make
the
a point.
the is there's nothing wrong with having Dangote.
Your network is bad.
It is it really. Oh yeah, I know why. Oh shit.
Okay, you
Just
better now. You
go
good
Àwọn
on
now.
when
Adéwálé
I
ti
get to a
háàkì
better.
ẹ̀. Àwọn Adéwálé ti háàkì ẹ̀. Wọ́n ò fẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ́.
Mike,
We can hear you now.
I'll come back.
We hear you now. We hear you now. You're
It's
good
still
now.
gonna go.
Continue.
come back. I think you are not being
Okay.
fair to me and Adewale. What we are talking
But
about.
just
Hold on, let
we
me
can
land.
Abdul land.
You
Remy,
see
hold
my
on.
point.
I already know it's not fair. You haven't landed. Let him continue.
Exactly. So, number one, Nigeria needs foreign investment. We're trying to attract foreign investors. And imagine how they look at us right now that, okay, if they have indigenous investors being treated like this, how are we going to be treated? Because now you're trying to limit a legitimate investor because of some local crooks. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't look good for the country. Then number two, we know how this refinery, Dangote's refinery, is gonna relieve the pressure on foreign exchange. What advantage are these local crews bringing to Nigeria? Nothing. They're just like a leech on the country.
So
So,
what?
and
So now
hold on. And for the point, the legitimate point you were raising about job loss, and why I accuse Adewale of not seeing beyond now, is that when you have creative disruption, that's a process when a new player comes in and change the environment. I'm telling you, you're gonna see the new opportunities that will spring up once this old crook gives way. You're just thinking that, oh, once Dangote comes in, those people working for those crooks will lose their jobs, and that's all. No. Once they move away, other people will see that, okay, now legitimate businessmen are in charge. Then you can see other people coming in to invest, and then they will even create more jobs than we have now. Good jobs.
Okay, I will respond to you by giving you a very good example. In 2001, Obasanjo came with licensing all these. I think there were three that time or two. The first two, MTN and Econet. He licensed them and we collect the licensing fee. I went for that training, for Econet training in Lagos that time. And there's a lot of, what do you call it, a telecommunication company or technology company that they are into just maybe computer or maybe writing programs. Some of them key into this industry, and they started printing of Richard cards. They print Richard cards, some can print up to 50 million per month, some can more than that. So what I'm trying to say here is that those people that in that industry before, they change their tactics. Why they are still they still retain some of their old way of doing their maybe programming or whatever. They came into the new system. But what I'm trying to say now, let's talk about Dangote itself. Dangote that came up on board now, he wanted to be, it's a refinery. He's going to refine a lot of produce. It's not only about that and fertilizers. And at the end of the day, he also wants to be the marketer. He also wants to be control all the petrol stations all over the country. So the reason why I said that there are so many people in this industry that are doing all this kind of business. So if you want to control all the value chain by yourself, then you talk about
is there
It's
a
not
fact
Dangote.
that he
Hold on,
wants to be
Remy,
the marketer?
I'm
I
not
don't
just
think there's fact to
asking
that,
the
though.
question I want to ask
you've
you.
There's no
you've
fact
landed.
to that he
What you
wants to
just
be
said
the
now, let us
marketers.
correct you. You see, we have a petroleum law that allow him that, I mean, to have all those things that you mentioned. It's not that he's just doing it at his own will without any law allowing him to do so. So you remember the Petroleum Act, or what did
Yes,
they say? Petroleum Act
yes,
that was signed like a year
yes,
ago or 2
yes,
years ago.
yes.
Everything was embedded in that act.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
You
I
understand what
know.
I criticize? I
I
criticize that act
understand
that
everything you have been talking about. Even with that hat, I
time.
don't think the hat will favor only him alone. What about
Not
the other?
only him, it
I
allow
mean,
everybody,
everybody.
whether
Okay,
you
so
own,
Let me create an
hold on,
act. An act is for
hold on,
everybody. So if one
so
person,
everybody, whether you own refinery or you don't own
in
refinery,
a
you can.
nutshell, in a
So it is
nutshell,
that act that if you attack and not that go take.
Exactly.
in that way, when you look at the sugar itself, I know people you know that take sugar. They were in Nigeria before. Now
Why are
they are.
you digressing to sugar
No, I'm
now?
not
Let's
digesting.
focus on this
Wait,
I'm
point.
let's
focusing
focus
on it.
on the
At the end of
petroleum,
the
man.
day, if we just destruct it where it brings into heat, I hope it brings succor to Nigeria. I
Wait,
hope it's
can
succor.
I say something real quick? He's not the only one that has refinery in Nigeria currently
Yes,
at this
yes,
moment.
it's not the only
We
one.
have
It's not
people
the
with modular refineries.
yes.
They are also complaining that they're not getting crude directly from the
Well, he
NMPC.
has
So
already get
it's not
oh,
just him.
can you name them?
Oh, I don't. Oh,
there are
let me
so
look up the
many.
name.
There's
He was
one.
on interview though. He went on
There are
Arise.
modular refineries. If
Yeah,
we
the
check
guy went
them,
on Arise that they've been waiting for crude oil as well, that they didn't get it. I think they're located in Edo. Let me look it up so I can be specific.
so the point, what we are trying to say is that with this situation now, at the end of the day, I hope it's a win-win situation for an average Nigeria. Let him have all
Yeah,
the situation. Let me have
yeah.
everything.
Remy, Remy,
I hope he have
Remy,
the
Remy. See, it's gonna be a good thing for Nigeria. All
no,
the this don't wait,
I don't
wait,
totally
wait.
and
Let me,
I will give you an
let me,
example why I don't agree.
wait, let me
I
land.
will give you
Let me land.
and I'll follow you after you. Why? After you. After you.
Okay. See, most of these things you're complaining about, there is what they call first mover advantage.
Oh, it's quite unfortunate. Your connection is not good enough. Maybe you come back in again. Sorry, okay. Okay. What I want to give you one example. Lafarge is the Lafarge Portland Cement before Dangote came in. When Dangote came with his own cement company, we are expecting a big crash in the price of cement. Initially, that's what it brought in. There's a big crash, And before we can turn around within 6 or 1 year, the price of cement continue to increase. Whether the economy is good or not, it continues to increase. I remember when it came in, there was, Lafarge is selling their cement at that time about almost 2,500 naira per bag. When it came in, it crashed it to about 1,500 and 1,700. But before we know it, it cornered the market. It's the largest producer of cement in Nigeria. And now you use that advantage to dictate the price. And as we are talking today, the price of cement continues to increase. And I remember last year, BUA went to President Tinubu to find a way to reduce the price of the cement. But till now, it has come down a little bit. So you have to also be careful. I know that a big company have monopoly tendency, and he will use it against you. In the short run, you might enjoy him, but in the long run, you might not know what will happen. So sometimes when people are talking, also listen to the other side, not only the one side alone. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if I'm audible now or if my network is good. Is it better now?
You are good to go now. Good to go. Good to go.
Okay. So I get your concerns, but the stage, especially if we're gonna stick to the PMS industry, we need people like Dangote desperately. Issues of monopoly should be secondary right now, and if monopoly is a problem, then the government should deal with it by augmenting the law. You know, just like in America, they have law that checkmate monopoly and all these stuffs. You cannot blame the company for taking advantage of loopholes in the law. You cannot. You should blame the government for that, not him. He's a businessman. And like Madam Zita said earlier, that business are established to make money by any means necessary, as long as they are not breaking the law. So it is not fair for you to lay your blame exclusively on Dangote. No, you blame the government.
I'm not laying any blame on him. You have to get me clearly.
But you are accusing him of monopoly. That he's trying to monopolize the market. He doesn't want others to grow. He's trying to monopolize that thing. That's what you are saying.
I want to ask you some questions, because sometimes I'm not clear where you are sometimes. Because let me be frank with you. I'm a player in that cement too. So I know what I'm talking about. So I know what he did. And I know, but at the same time,
we are not talking about cement. We are talking about the refinery and the oil.
On this
so let's focus on that. Don't let us go to cement.
On this refinery, I've already told you the truth. The mess we find ourselves, no matter what we say, and he has done it wonderfully well. The government of Nigeria should find a way to continue to supply him crude. Whether we are going to pay fine.
They didn't say they won't supply him. The amount that they have.
They never say that. They never say that.
So the amount that they have is not enough.
I think as we stand today, if we want to do something, if Nigerian government should do something, it's like we also have to pay fine. Give crude to this guy. Our forward contract, maybe we renegotiate. This is unfortunately this, and then we pay fine on it, so Nigeria will not cry.
Good point, Remy. Good point.
So we make our golden son to be happy, and all Nigerians are happy. And then when we pay fine on our contract, nobody should come here and complain at that time. That is the only thing they can do now. The other alternative is that they find a way to improve the increase in crude that we are producing now. And we don't have time. Time is not on our side. Our people are complaining. Hunger is killing them. Blah, 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 blah. So and at the end of the day, that's why I brought the question of, even if the federal government do all of this, where we shift subsidy from consumption to production, what is the price per unit that Dangote is willing to also sacrifice for Nigeria? So we must also talk about that, because
Remy, hold on. It is not his job to sacrifice for the country.
Hey,
He's a
Remy, you
businessman.
know the marketers benchmark the
They will
market
let me
price to
talk.
Let's
600.
hear from Babati, man. Babati hasn't said
Oh,
anything. I'm trying to say something.
Let me talk. I just listen for a second. So here's the thing, guys. If you're concerned about
The
Dangote,
G Abimbolowa.
no, if you're
Sọ̀rọ̀
really concerned
sókè.
about Dangote controlling the market or anything like that, you need to put that Port Harcourt refinery up for sale. That should be run by private investment firms. So if we really want competition in that space, then put it up for sale. It's not worth scrap anyway.
Babati, before you continue, ask Babajale Kupo, does he agree that we should put out that refinery, all the asset, Nigerian
You
asset?
can't.
Ask them
You
if we should
cannot
put it up for
manage.
sale, whether they agree or disagree. Ask him now whether they agree or disagree. Ask them before you continue, because they will tell
I
you no.
know
Don't tell him.
Remy. I know his position. He wants government run, but the reality is that that place cannot be profitable without private investment. That is, I can't go into numbers now, but that is just the reality. We want more refinery of that capacity. We want 20, 30, 40 of them if possible across the country. So if we keep pumping money into those refineries, they will not make money for the country. They cannot be run by government officials. It's been proven time and time again that Nigerian government cannot run anything at that level. So put it up for sale. And those that were concerned about supply and demand from Dangote refineries, Dangote refineries is not exclusively to Nigeria. It can get crude oil from anywhere in the world. The concern is our own demand and supply, the local consumption now. And they've said before that they already made a deal. We thought it was 20%. Apparently, it was less. I think it was 7.4 that he said it was the actual
Yeah,
figure
you're
that
right.
was
About 7.4,
reported.
7.2.
Right. So if you meet, I think here's the fear, guys, that you're not paying attention to. If Dangote starts to supply the local market, it will expose the real figure of what Nigeria really consumes. Because remember, they were subsidizing the fake figures, right? So if Dangote starts supplying, we can literally track what they supply in Nigeria. So you can then see the disparity in numbers. So you will see that disparity.
But
Nigerians don't consume that much
Babati,
Dangote.
before you continue, there is an accusation. People said it now that Dangote is buying refinery, petrol station close to the border. Why that? Why is it buying petrol
Do
station close to
you
the
do
border?
you
Are
do
you
you
sure? Where
And
have
you
you
know the
seen that
survey now. In your survey,
concrete?
that's what we do.
even if he
Where have you seen concrete
anything
report
even
that
if
There's
is
he
somebody
such?
that said it in this platform.
even
Somebody
if
said
he
it
has
just
it,
a few minutes ago.
Remy, even if he
Speculations.
That could be speculation now.
even if he has it, what is the job of the House of Rep? And don't you have regulatory bodies in your country for
Custom
Exactly.
nìkan.
Good
Yeah,
point.
but you
Good
guys
point.
just accused them though. The regulatory bodies they came out saying that there's something with the diesel that is putting out, and everybody went against them. So that's what I'm
No, no,
saying.
no. They later discover the assembly waded in. They took tests and they discovered that the regulatory body is lying. That
Um,
Yes, that's
Dangote
true.
that's not how it's
That's
done.
correct.
That's
is
Babati
not
said
lying.
how
it's
it's
right.
done. That
Because
look,
the outcome of
no,
their own test show that
Oriola, the product,
the Dangote product is of high
what is the
yeah,
quality.
it's
best?
one of the
Is of
best.
high quality.
So don't argue about that one. He has already started exporting it. So don't argue. This guy is already started making money.
So, Babajale, have they fired that man that lied? The regulatory.
They're supposed to have
Yeah,
fired him
no,
now.
he
they should
didn't
He
fire
lie
still kept
him,
his
though.
job.
He
honestly.
never lied. That's the
He
thing.
need to
See,
Kí ni
this is the
Adéọlá yìí ń sọ
problem.
yìí? Àbí bo
This is
leléyìí planet wo ló ti wá that he
wait.
never lied?
This is the problem. See this is the
Guys,
problem we're having.
guys,
You guys
can we
are we
like,
Oh
okay,
can't
God.
trust our regulatory bodies. Like they come
trust.
just because
You should trust them.
they
These guys are
counter him.
Americanized, man. You think it's America that will be trusting?
I tire.
uh, my
The
point is this,
regulatory
guys.
body that does not have a
No, guys,
standard laboratory
Vale
that
Coco,
can
Vale
even
Coco,
test
Exactly.
anything.
anyway, If you accuse a company of not meeting up to standard as a public regulator, you're supposed to provide proof to public. You release records like, okay, this is our research, this is what we found
Exactly.
out. You make it
Exactly.
public. But have you seen any records? Did they put anything in the public that you've seen? Nobody knows. You can't just say, it's bad though, it's bad
It
though.
was
What is
all
the proof? You don't have
conjecture,
it.
just pure conjecture.
That is, they can even sue him because you are putting that business in jeopardy. That is against his reputation.
Yeah,
So it can affect his
then they
business.
should sue him.
That's defamation.
They should sue the
Do
regulatory
you know what
bodies
will
now.
have happened to that guy's shares? Had it been that he have a share in the public already? Had it been he had a public shares already? Do you know what will have happened to that share? They will have crashed
Well,
Hmm.
this is
after
we are
after
running
that
on
statement.
emotions here. That's what I've been saying. We are running on emotions. Just because
It's not
someone can
emotion. Forget
accuse my
about it.
company.
The assembly have carried
Oriola,
that test after that, and they discovered that regulatory body is lying.
that guy is
Oh man,
compromised
that's
at
this
that
is not.
particular moment.
Do you know how many barrels of diesel they produce daily? And just because one day they came out and say, "Oh, we run a test on this. This is good."
No, are you trolling or you
Is
are
that
just
how they
I don't understand.
perform this test? No, because they have to do it randomly. It has to be randomly. They can't tell you when they would do it.
Bro, you don't have enough information to speak on this topic because
No,
the
I
sample
do
was
It's
because they came
actually
out.
the
They
sample
came.
was taken. It was
This
a
was on
random sample.
TV.
It was
But
a random
do you
sample.
have
That's what I'm
wait?
telling
Do
you.
you have enough information? You that you're talking.
Yes,
Where's your
I
facts?
listened. I
Oriola,
followed it. It's on. Check
So
the
I did not. So I
check
did
the
not.
main check the main line.
This is
If
what
you
we're
did, you
doing.
would hold on. You said we shouldn't use emotion, right? You just said they did not use random sample, and I'm accusing you that, and I'm pushing back that that is not true. The sample was random. As a matter of fact, they took that sample on their way to
And you
wherever
get
they're going. They just went to any of the
that's
station
not
and
true. Even
got the
while
sample.
even
That
during the
is
comp
the
wait,
definition
listen.
of a random sample.
What you're saying is not true. Even during the press conference that
What?
Dangote was giving, listen first. Even during the press conference that Dangote was giving to the public, they came behind him and also told him that okay, we run another sample now, and we are going down on the number of dates, whatever it is. That's to tell you that they are
What
doing
are
an
you saying? I don't understand what you're
in-house
saying. What did you just say
test,
right now?
open
I don't understand what you're saying.
like we don't. That's not how it's done. Let's have our belief on these people that they will do the job the way they should. And if they don't,
Believe on which people?
how
Dangote
can you
can
say you have a guy?
listen. And if they don't, Dangote can sue them. That's what the thing is. If to say they accuse Dangote wrongly, sue them and bring your proof instead of us running on emotion just because Dangote
No,
said this is this.
what we are saying is that as a regulatory body, before you even come out with those kind of data, you must do your due diligence. There's a way you present something to the public. You can't have it just say, oh, it is bad. That is not. Show me numbers. Give me data. What is the breakdown? What did you find? You must be very specific about what is actually in that product that is substandard.
Yeah, but
Just
that's
saying
why
it's
we
bad is not
have
enough.
those
But
the
Babaki, sorry,
journalists. How come they
can I
can't
come
ask
in?
for
Can I
those
come in?
papers?
Can
They
I
should
come
ask
in?
for the documents, the test they ran.
Kayode,
Give
let
us
me
that information. So
let me
Abi?
respond to
Oh
him.
no, no, no,
Let's
no.
hear from other voices, man.
Yeah,
Babati,
Babaki,
are you done? Babati, are
uh,
you done?
let
Oh,
yeah.
me
go to
respond to Babati.
I think it was Patoski. Yeah, Patoski. But
Yeah.
in similar climate, when they come out with data, they will tell you the
Mm.
report about A, B, C, and D in this product that it's bad. Then they will give you a breakdown. Then people start doing analysis about it. But that's the way it's supposed to work. You just
Okay.
don't say it's bad.
Okay. You see, that's a model. That approach you have just said is a model. If a laboratory, a regulatory body, they also have their own model of operation, modules of operation. They take samples, they run against their own standard, and it's bad. Before they come out to say that, they also know the cause and the implication. Why has Dangote not sued them? Let's be
thank you.
objective.
Thank
Why has
you.
Dangote not sued them? Why did he take to the press? You should sue them now.
Thank you.
You should sue them. The court will set up a process, call an independent
How
body.
do you know it's not
They do
showing
it.
them?
Oh, hold on. Wait, you say that content should to them. What
Yes.
of the assembly that intervened, that
Assembly
waded in,
for
carry out their
assembly.
What
own test?
assembly? Are they
Hold on
regulators?
What
now.
is
They're not
no
Hold on,
regulators.
no. Hold
the
on.
assembly is not. Let me
Hold
tell you,
on, no. Hold on.
You see, the
Okay.
National Assembly is playing a wrong role. They are not to adjudicate or something now. Ṣé bí ti legislation ni wọ́n pé àwọn kan jà assembly alomasetu asu and kìnnì kan ní industrial action àṣùjá àwọn ní industrial court ni assembly they are just doing anything anyhow.
They have oversight
Oversight over
responsibility.
Dangote.
They have oversight. Look, they have
Over
oversight
Dangote.
responsibility.
Over
Responsibility.
Dangote.
Over
private company,
Over
man.
Dangote.
No, no,
They should go
they
to
have
court.
oversight responsibility, and that is why they waded in
If
and they
every
said, okay,
company bá ń jà assembly ló máa wait in every company bá ń
No,
jà.
no, 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 no. Kò ṣe pé company.
Every
Regulator ló
company
ń ṣe.
so
Regulator,
any
the
company tó bá ní
regulator.
no bros
Dangote
The
should
any
sue the
regulator
company tó
are
bá
not
regulators.
ní
doing.
Case closed.
so any company tó bá
Okay,
ní
let me
with
ask you,
regulator
Patisco. Patisco.
national assembly
So,
máa step in. Wọn ò
hold
ní
on,
ṣẹ́yìn náà
Patisco. Hold on, Patisco. Are you telling me that public
Patisco.
statement made by what do you call it, by the regulator, is it appropriate?
They can make such declaration if they've done their due diligence.
No, no, no. One person they are not sitting down at a press conference or at a kind of um
Yeah,
um
is he not part of the
hold
institution?
on, hold on. It's not the regulator in form of a team sitting down
Ta ló
and
sọ?
How
making
do
a
you know their
press
policy?
statement.
Do you know their
Wait, one
policy?
Must
voice, man.
must
God damn, man. It's
hold
getting
on.
rowdy. Let
Ta
one
ló
person
make
land.
statement
Let
yẹn?
Papa Jali go live before you guys come in.
Yeah, it's not an arrangement where they are sitting down as a team and make a press statement, but rather this guy single-handedly, the head,
Which guy?
only him, the head of the regulatory body,
So who is in the
only him.
best position? No, Egbon. Who is in the best
Hold on,
position to
only
speak?
him in a public space
So is he
just
supposed
said
to
it.
say it in a
That is
room?
not the way to do
No,
things.
Egbon, Edru, listen. If the president of Nigeria, pé Tinubu ṣe wà yẹn, tó kàn jáde, bóyá ó jáde kúrò meeting, president interview ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ make statement. Ṣé máa sọ pé he didn't make it in Federal Executive Council?
No, no, no. What I'm saying is that the
That man is the
chairman of
head. That man
regulatory
is the head.
body
That
did
man is the
not
head of
make
regulatory
that
body.
statement
Is in the
in
best position
official
to speak.
capacity. He didn't make
To
it in
make
official capacity.
how was he not?
You know,
No, what do you mean by
Big
official
Aja,
capacity?
Baba,
he should
stop
What do
have.
you mean by
running on
Hold on.
emotion. This is not how
no?
it works.
What
Don't
do you
let
mean
us
official
run on
capacity?
emotions.
What do you mean
This,
official capacity? Was he supposed to wear uniform before he made that statement,
No,
or was he
that is
supposed
not
to?
the issue.
He
That
was
is not
supposed to
the
wear
issue.
tie and
Look,
suit.
look, when they carried out the test, let's say okay, they carried out that test of Dangote's product. Okay, if they want to make official statement, we should have a kind of um arrangement where it's going to sit down with the media, like in a capacity with its other members of that regulatory body, and they
Nǹkan
will
tẹ́yìn feel
release.
nìyẹn.
They
Nǹkan
will
tẹ́yìn feel
release.
nìyẹn.
Yeah, that's what I think. That is the way
Can,
it
can
should be.
can I give an
It's
See how
not
example
we
so that
just.
operate
you
like that.
It,
sorry,
eh?
sorry.
See how we
Can I give
do
an
Dangote
like
is
that.
no
looking
no
for
no
public
listen
settlement. That's what it
Mm.
is. And it's
okay, like
getting
can I
it.
give an
It's not
example?
always like that.
Hold on. Do you remember in America when they banned baby foods because they went bad baby
Mm-hmm,
food product, right? And they had to
mm-hmm,
ban it for a while.
mm-hmm,
They
Yeah, it
announced that it was
affected me
bad.
too now.
They said it was bad,
mm-hmm.
but part of the announcement was details of what they found.
That's
So
right.
it was just not that you can't just say it's bad. You must give the public what
You
you
mo-
found, what
that's
is
He
there.
that's
did
right.
though. Did you listen to him? He did. He gave the percentage. He gave us the numbers. He gave us the numbers.
He,
He
he, he,
said,
gave, he gave us a number which was later countered by
but
what assembly. Hold on, which was later countered by what assembly carried out.
Okay.
are they the
And after
regulators?
assembly, hold on, after
So
assembly
as the
carried out
assembly
their
sanctioned
own
him, have they sanctioned them?
test of
Have they
that product, they
sanctioned?
announced what they discovered to their own number. Assembly releases, and since then, regulatory body have not said anything. to challenge what
But
assembly did.
that's because the president came in and they don't want to
And
say
even the
anything.
regulatory body, they don't even have a standard laboratory to
How
say
do
this
you
is
know
where we
this?
carried it out.
Baba, how do you know this?
Yeah, they
How?
challenge them.
Who?
Dangote challenge them.
challenge them.
Dangote,
Okay.
hold on. Let us have a conversation. Look, Dangote took the media to his own laboratory to show them what they have, which is in the form of, you know,
That
I
was
mean,
a media manipulation.
hold on, whether
Thank
you
you.
can call it anyway, it
Manipulation on
showed them
100
which is
level.
a world class, which is a world class laboratory. And it challenged
So
them
what?
that,
So what?
hold on. It challenged NMPC, I mean, the regulator. Come and show the world your own laboratory.
No, they don't have to
If
own a
your laboratory
laboratory
is even
now.
better, it's well equipped
No.
than what we have in our own refinery.
No,
They
no,
put
no.
it.
Please
Ajanlekoko,
let me
the
respond.
See
regulator, did they even
manipulation.
mention where they
Ekpa.
Let
did
me
their
See
own
respond to
test? Did
manipulation.
they
Dangote.
mention where they did their own test?
Baba, they make
Eh?
Baba
Can I
run
respond?
emotion now. They're
Can I
They
running.
don't
respond
have
to him?
laboratory. Oh.
Can
This
I
Did they
respond
regulator
to
doesn't
him?
have
mention,
laboratory. Oh.
We need
you
one
know,
voice. This is getting
They
annoying.
don't have a laboratory because they challenge
exactly.
them. Where is your own laboratory? Where you
Where did
carried out this test that show that our own product is inferior? They
Mike,
don't
can I
have
respond to
Question,
him?
laboratory.
question,
in
Baba
addition
Ija.
to that,
Question.
Ajanlekoko, in
Wait.
addition to that,
Question.
Mike, can
Oriola,
I
I have
respond
a
to him?
question.
Odiola, hold on.
Question,
Oriola, I
Baba
have a
Ija.
question for you. Wait,
Hold
hold
on.
on.
Let
I
me
have a
ask
question
Baba
for
Ija
you.
one thing quickly. Let me
Mike,
ask
can I
Okay,
Baba
respond
Ija
to
okay.
one thing.
Ajani Oko?
Go
Do you
ahead, go ahead.
believe do you
Can I respond
believe
to him?
a regulator does not have test or the right equipment? Do you believe that? In your own mind, you believe a regulator does not have the right
They have
equipment?
not showed us one.
Can I
They've not
respond
showed
to
us one. No.
can I respond to him?
They've not showed us. How can they have when they
No,
don't have refinery
Ajani
functioning?
Oko.
The
Really?
regulator does
And
not
that's the
have refinery
type
Mike,
of
functioning
country
in
you want
Nigeria.
us.
Mike, can I respond to him?
Yes.
Okay. Let's pick it one by one. And please let me just flow a little. You see, as a regulator, you don't have to have a laboratory of your own. You don't have to. You can have trusted laboratories. Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you
we
all
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
You can
Yeah,
have
we can hear
trusted.
you.
You can have trusted laboratories. You take a sample and send to 3 or 4 of them, independent laboratories. You don't have to invest so much money in laboratories and everything when you only test as you don't. It's not something you do every day. So you
We
don't need to
agree
have
with
your
you,
own
Yeah,
Pato.
laboratories.
you have a point. You have a point.
So
But
let
the
me
No,
so
question
that's
so
not
to
so
you,
that's not
let me
true.
just
the
make
Very
this
question
That's
point.
not
to
true. I
you,
don't agree with what you
the
just
question
said.
to
It
you
doesn't work
is
that way.
Make the further argument. Sorry. You see,
okay.
so they don't have to own their own laboratories. So they have to. Oh, can you make unlock, Nisha? They don't have to own their own laboratories, so they can take samples and take to different labs and test. You understand? Then two, there's no standard procedure as to how a regulatory body make their public statement. Yeah, they have to sit in a team. They have to call the media. They don't have to spend all that money calling media and say we want to give a press conference. They start spending money. They can make that statement very clearly.
They're not serious in buying as the country
Three.
buying.
No.
Pato,
No,
no.
that's the
If
standard.
that's the case, they were not serious at the
Let
country
me
buying here.
let me land the
Serious in buying
third
now.
point.
Well, unless that's their
Let me land the
policy,
third
but I
point.
don't
The
believe that
third
would be
point
their
is this:
policy.
since the National Assembly has identified that okay, the regulator is wrong, has the National Assembly sanctioned the regulator since they have oversight function over the regulator? Have
You're
they,
speaking like you are in the US. What do you mean? Have they done this
has
or this and
National
that? But
Assembly sanctioned the
if
regulator?
this works fine in Nigeria,
All these things
we
that
will be where we are
Dangote
today.
is doing, Dangote is just blackmailing.
No,
That's just the
how
truth.
did you see? You're coming to a conclusion based on a false
Look at
premise.
his
Dangote is
conclusion.
No,
He
just
no,
says it's blackmailing.
look at your
Can you hear
conclusion.
him?
You
Eh?
just make up stuff
To me, it's just
and
okay.
came to a
Let me
biased
not say
conclusion.
let me not say blackmailing. It's just being sentiment, playing on sentiment, showing them I have laboratory, I have this thing.
Oh,
If
stop
Dangote,
that.
no,
Stop
wait
that.
now,
It's not sentiment.
the fact that Dangote has a laboratory, does that preclude him from producing substandard products? You can have a laboratory now, and your product will go through your laboratory and it will fail your laboratory test and you still release the product to the market.
That is not when already is supplying the world, is supplying Nigeria all they
Don't
need
they
to,
supply fake
all
fuel
they
to
need
the
to.
world?
Okay, hold on.
Don't they
All the
supply fake fuel
diesel,
to the world?
hold
Which
on,
one is world?
hold on
Are we not
now.
part of the world?
Oh,
Don't
well,
we buy
hold
fake
on,
fuel?
hold on, hold on. Is already supplying Nigeria the diesel
Mm-hmm.
substantially that we are
Mm-hmm.
using in Nigeria now, is the
Mm-hmm.
major supplier, and
Mm-hmm.
is exporting this product to other parts of West Africa and other parts of the world now.
And does that
And there
produce
has not been any,
substandard?
hold on now, and there has not been any complaint from any other of these things. So what are we talking about? Why did
It
he
could
have
it
why
could
did
be
he
selling
have a world
substandard to
class,
us
hold
now.
on, why did he have a world class laboratory? If, as you are saying it, it doesn't mean anything.
What does
Ah,
that
you
even
see,
mean?
What
World
are you
class
two
talking?
things.
laboratory. What
The,
does that even mean?
the fact that you
What
have a
does that even mean?
laboratory,
It
the fact that
doesn't
you
Okay,
mean
have a
I don't
okay,
know
laboratory.
what it means. If you
Oriola,
want to rubbish it,
Oriola, can you tell us, please, where did the regulator did their own test? Where was the test carried out? Can you tell us?
Well, how would I do? Whatever he says is what I is a they are regulators. We are supposed to believe whatever they say. So how would I counter? I'm not questioning them. That's the job for the journalists to do that. That okay, sir, we need the report that you carried this test out. That the sulfur in the diesel is
But that's
way
what I
too
was
high.
saying. So where is the report? That was what I was saying. That it's not okay to just announce. You're supposed
It's
to
what
announce and
journalists
provide the
supposed to
public with
ask
the
all those
report.
How
things.
come the journalists didn't ask him
But
for the
That's
report?
the
I am
problem of the
saying
journalist now. That does not make what he's saying true. And that's what BT is
And
telling
that does
you.
not mean that does not
as a
mean
matter of fact, let us even look. We have representatives. They waded in. They asked for their own report, and they carry out their own test. And their own test showed that Dangote's refinery or product is far better. I mean, the outcome of their research show that what the regularly said, or their own figure, is not true. That the product is way better than what the regulatory claim.
Baba.
So,
true.
Babaja.
so what are
It
we talking
doesn't
about?
meet. It doesn't meet. It doesn't actually. Even after they run the test, it doesn't meet. It never met the standards. So the standard for the sulfur level in diesel, I think it has to be below 20% or 40%, whatever it is. Even after, and the guy said about that the sulfur level in Dangote, the regulator said is about 80% or so, and Dangote came out after they did the press conference. They said it's about 50%, that he's kept going down, that he's almost there. So while he was speaking to the people, then they came behind him and said, oh, he has even went down now. So,
okay.
but it
Ah.
never
So
meets the
Oriola,
standard.
just listen to your argument. Listen to your argument. A regulator comes out to complain, to tarnish the
What are you
image of a
saying? Why would
local.
a regulator claim?
Hold on. Now you have not landed. Already replying me. Come on,
Yeah,
just listen.
no,
How can
because what you
just
said,
listen
wait,
to
why
your?
you
I'm trying
believing
to show you
yours?
the. Hold on. Look at the logic in your argument. The regulator comes out to complain about the purity level of Dangote's diesel, while the one that is being imported, that this so-called regulator was supposed to check, is even worse off. Why would he come out to complain about Dangote's diesel? That's the question I'm asking you.
Why
Did he
would
come out to
why
complain
would
about
a
the imported one?
wait?
Did he
Why
come out
would
to complain about the imported one?
exactly? So that's when we need
I
to
just
ask.
want you to see the sinister. That's what you're not listening to. That's the sinister motive we're trying to let you know,
No, are
that
you
these
saying
regulators cannot be trusted.
okay? So are you now saying that just because they're bringing diesel to us that doesn't meet it doesn't comply with the standard that it needs to be, the purity level, which is the sulfur level, is not below whatever percentage it is, the what they're
Mhm,
importing in. So does
mhm.
that mean it doesn't have the mouth to now tell Dangote that okay, your
Exactly.
diesel.
He doesn't have that moral ground to say that. He
Wait,
doesn't.
we can't be
If the
doing
same
this like
regulator
this,
is
bro.
allowing,
We
if
can't be
the same
acting this way.
regulator, what do you mean we can't be acting this way? If the same regulator is allowing a product that is worse off than what we have locally, and he comes out to tarnish the one we have locally,
How do you know that the one that they were importing was stuff? How do you know that they didn't meet the sulfur level?
we're talking based on the information given to us by the House of Rep members. We're talking based on that. That let's assume what they are telling us is accurate. Then the regulator have no moral ground to criticize Dangote uh, in a public manner like that. It makes no sense.
Wait, are you saying you're not okay with the way the regulator said it, or you're saying that even if the regulator has to say it, he should say it in the closed door? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
to no, no
Are
to
you saying
clear
the
no
way
no
he
no.
put
They
it
have
out
Let
no
is not
let
okay?
me
business saying it.
clarify.
That's the fact.
Let
You
me
don't
clarify
buy, you
one
don't
thing.
demarket someone's
Yeah,
business.
just don't
That's
come out and
that's
say
that's against
something
the law.
without
You don't
providing.
demarket someone's product unless the product is illegal. Then they can talk about it. You don't demarket somebody's products. If you own a company and then a government here starts saying, "What Oriola's restaurants they sell bad food," you can sue that person. I mean, that's just wrong.
But
Well,
let's say I did. Let's say when they said that it was bad, right? They now come out with proof and data. Guess what will happen in the media? The media will now find their own experts to look into those into their data to now discuss it in public. You make it open. What went wrong? Then you now call Dangote. This is what you've been accused of. Well, yeah, come and explain yourself. That's the way it's supposed to go.
yeah, but how come the media didn't ask for the reports? That's what me I'm
But
saying.
that's what I'm asking too. I'm with you on that one. That's the way it's in a sense society.
Forget
That's the way it's supposed to
forget
be.
Nigerian media. They are brown envelope. What do you expect them to say? They won't do nothing. They don't do their investigation very well. They come up with a flamboyant headline just to tell the story.
In America, hey, if something happens in one industry, what do you see on TV? They will bring the experts from that industry to discuss the data, right? They will bring them in. So we got the information from this company, blah 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 blah. What do you think? Then they start having analysis about whatever the information is. So once the regulator releases the information, look at what happened to Boeing for Boeing
But see, the
Airlines.
experts always bring in Nigeria, they are already biased.
No,
And they
no.
will show their
I'm
bias
saying
or whatever.
Remy, hold on. Remember what happened to Boeing when they were found for manipulating data
Yeah,
for
yeah,
building their
yeah.
707? What do you see on CNN?
The
Experts
efforts.
discussing the data when it was
And
released by
yeah.
the. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the point I'm making. Just don't
Yeah,
say it's bad.
but
So
okay.
I do it. I
So
do it.
let
Hold on. You didn't hear America say, "Oh, Boeing airline is bad. It's bad," and that's it. No. Give us data. You can't just say it's bad now. Let's know why it's bad. And they what about rotor? They were fixing figure. They gave you details, breakdown. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but I'm saying now, I understand the point that everybody's making, but how come we're not blaming the media for not actually giving
I'm
us?
blaming everybody, the media, the House
Do
of
we really
Reps,
have media in
oversight,
Nigeria? Those
blaming
guys
everybody
media.
now.
There's a bunch of mediocre people who talk.
Even the way the way the lawmakers also go about it is also not good. Because that testing was done on Dangote
Where is the
refinery,
public hearing, Remy? Where's the
yeah.
public hearing on that? In America, they will have had a public
No,
hearing.
they started having they started having they are doing their in-house investigation now. So we have not. They won't open it to the public. They will close it down. They will say no. Journalists should go out and they start doing whatever they like. I think at the end of the day, you have hit the nail on the head. The regulators, for that singular act they did, that means they're already biased. Why should you come out in the open like that? Dangote is not producing PMS alone. There's so many products there. And you say something like that, that is unfair to Dangote refinery. Because apart from PMS, they produce so many things. Fertilizers are there, a lot of byproducts from crude are there. And why should you say something like that? This is something we should cherish most in Nigeria. The Europeans, they are already jittery. They are losing a lot of market because of that refinery. We should protect it, and probably Dangote as in Nigeria should also find the amicable solution to the problem, because his hands are not also clean.
Well,
So
so me, I understand the point that we're all making, but I don't want us to like back Dangote way too much. We want him to follow the law and do the
yeah,
right thing.
let's be honest.
Which law is he not following? Tell us the law that is
I
breaking.
mean, the sulfur level was higher though, even though it's not close to the amount that the regulator said when they came out and said it's going down. But it wasn't complying with the sulfur level at all. It's like 50%, and I think the sulfur level have to be like 20 or 30%. So I'm just saying that I understand that, oh, this is our country stuff. We have to like back him, make sure he's successful. But at the end of the day, we want him to do it the right way, follow law, make sure everything is intact, do it the right way. So
Again, you're not answering the question. Which law is he not following?
I just told you the sulfur level for diesel, well, for Nigeria, in order to comply with Nigerians' law, they say it has to be below either 20% or 30%. I don't know what level, but it's higher than that percentage.
How
That's what
come? How
the
come?
sulfur
Hold on.
level.
If the regulatory body, if they are really truthful and honest, how did they allow him to sell to the public before they're now coming out to say,
I
"Oh,
wonder.
That's
You
a
are
good
watching Abi.
question, sir.
And
they
then who?
had
That's a good
this
And then
thing."
question.
who buy
Yeah,
Abi? Didn't say anything, Abi.
I mean,
that's a
does it
good
make
question.
sense
Yeah.
when they're already supplying the public? That is when they came out. Oh, this thing is not good. Is it not before it starts selling to the public that they will have checked? They will have ensured that yes, it comply with the sulfur level before they can now allow him to supply the public. Why after he has supplied the public the aviation fuel, the diesel, and is he has taken over he is now the main supplier, and then is preparing to start rolling out a supply of petrol, then problem come.
Yeah, that's a good question. You're right. I agree with that question.
That
Like,
is why we have been telling
yeah,
you people that this regulatory problem is not they are out to
They are
destroy.
compromised. They are
They are
compromised.
compromised. They are out to destroy that refinery so that they will continue to import that petrol, which is the main deal. That is where they have their own, you know, feed the bottle arrangement, and they don't want it to stop. So
yeah, but what would be the right thing to do? To just fire them? I think that would be the best thing to do. Like the entire institution, majority of those people should just get rid of the leaders and replace them with a new one. Because if they're already compromised, it means that in the future we can't really trust them.
that is it.
I think
And
it's not
that is
really.
what the outcome of the test carried out by the assembly. That is what I mean, the conclusion of that is that these people are compromised and they are not fit for any purpose to manage that, to be in charge of the regulatory function in that sector.
I think you do have a very good point there, because to me, I think they are also biased about how they go about it. And I think there must be a clean out in that gas sector. And I think for the first time in the history of that country, I think when they just finally settled, Nigerians will smile. I can guarantee you that. It's just my own personal opinion.
But then
Because,
they need to. If
yes,
you're really honest,
because whether
they
you
need
like it or not,
they
that
need
refinery has already started working. And it
no,
was
no, no,
welcome
no,
to its
Remy.
yeah.
If we want to take it further, they need to sell those public refineries. So I don't know why we still.
I asked you a question. Babajale Koko is here, and they will say
Yeah.
you should not sell the refinery. So you should answer that question,
Oh yeah,
because
Baba over to
I
you.
also support they should sell those refinery away.
Explain
Worry,
yourself,
Hey,
Kaduna,
please.
Remy, don't say at the end now we smile. Considering the historical antecedent, nothing has ever ended up being a smile in our country. Like they always find a way to collapse everything. So we can't really assure ourselves that we smile at the end because they make these people go come bound, Jamie. Go show you last one. I'm telling you, the way they are going, we don't quickly.
The reason why it's like that is that it's like they are
They call a
followed.
rubo issue for on the mic.
Ah,
No, no. At the end of the day, I think
we have the show already. We're not going to show any.
Dangote will have his way, whether we like it or not. Because it will get to that stage that no matter whether we like, and I think before the end of this month, the only thing I don't know is that how much is he going to sell it to the marketers, or how much is he going to be selling in his own petrol station? Because that is the I know Dangote very well. That is what he did in this.
Let me. Notice they're already fighting him on the price point.
Yeah,
Dangote,
hey, what of you
Dangote
fighting?
almost sell it for 600 naira. When you say when you're the company, you can't tell him how much to sell it
I
now.
think at the end of the day, governments must subsidize the Dangote to the matter maybe 450 to 500.
That was what they were trying to fight against. Arbitrary price gap. They wanted to benchmark, and honestly,
Mm.
I wish we guys can see beyond now. Honestly, but anyway, Dangote will always have his way with government, and those guys already the marketer before they know they're going to be run out of the market, and they don't want that to happen. So we will see where it ends. Uh, Sometimes
Wait,
patriotism sometimes does not mean that we should, I mean, Dangote has done well by building a refinery, but we should look beyond. Some people saying that, uh, right now, the commitment of government cannot be met. That's simple as ABC. So Dangote will have no choice than to sort
You
it
cannot
outside.
allow this to escape. Babalago go explain to us why government should still keep running those refineries. Because that is what if we really want things to be cheaper in that sector, like I said. So explain to us
They want
why
to
Port Harcourt should
run
not be
those
sold to us private.
around. It won't work.
So why are we keeping it?
no, but they can contract it out. If you look other like
You see,
what is it? The
I'm discussing
you
operations.
whatever AU whatever. They contract
No,
it out now.
Oriola, le- take your hands off it as government. You know how we are. Once government is involved in anything in Nigeria, it comes to shit. Look at Nitel. You know how this thing goes. Take your hands off it. Just leave it alone. Once they get involved, it
You
will not
here now
work.
when everything government runs, man. You go there, there's
It's shit, man.
Yeah, but do you guys realize that the drilling of oil today is being contracted out? Like you have the Shell, the Chevron, they the one drilling our oil.
No,
And when you
I'm
look at
discussing
the
refineries. I'm
yeah, but
discussing
that's
refineries.
why I said the refinery can also be contracted out. So government just gonna give it to them and tell them this amount of what they should be like the revenue they need to be given to them. Like you just more like they would just be more like a managerial, and while they give it out to maybe Shell to manage it and do whatever they want to do, they just provide money
Did
to
you?
them.
Hold on. Did you watch that OBJ interview? But was the interview in regards to
That
the
guy
refinery?
doesn't really know. I don't count. I'm
No, hold
sorry.
on
I don't
now.
really count those
Hold on, please
leaders.
hold on. The point you just brought up right now. They asked Obasanjo like, why didn't you get private companies to say? He said they didn't want it. He said
Yes,
because of the
exactly.
corruption in the system. Did you watch, go and watch the interview now?
I
I
saw
want it.
it.
They
Yes.
said they
They're
didn't want
thieves.
it.
See,
They didn't want it.
Shell at their thief. Number one, they're the one who actually built some of those refinery, and now it's not up to standard of what they can actually look after. Is that what you're telling me? They built it, so they're telling us that what they built about 50 years ago is something that they can't manage anymore.
The
Those people
value
are
is
thief
not
too.
worth
They're
investing
thief.
money. What they're saying, like if they're gonna, it's not even what back then. It wasn't even worth $200 million according to Obasanjo when he was in office.
Yeah,
So, so why would they?
BT. Before, if you want to sell something like that, you should have involved consultant engineering that they should tell him what is wrong with this before you make pronouncement that you want to sell
Atiku would have
something.
found Atiku would have found a way to sell that refinery.
That is Dangbanjo. That is Tadan.
To his friends, not Shell, to his friends.
So that's so even the sale of it. they will still mess it up. Look at what happened to NEPA. We are still dealing with that problem till now.
Yeah,
Disco,
that's
Cisco,
because you don't have
Abala,
the
all
right
these stuff.
people. People they
So
don't know anything about NEPA. It's so someone that is a business guy want to sell something NEPA that involve electrical engineering. You don't involve the engineers to tell you how this thing is it good, is it 100% running 100% efficient, what is the technology level. You don't know that. You just go and want to sell it. Those people who want to rob you now. Isn't that what
and
happened with the Ogun State thing?
you
Because
know,
they have no
government,
idea of
go,
what they're
go,
doing.
government is still bailing out Gencos and Discos and Cisco and whatever they call themselves. Why did you buy the power company if you cannot manage it? You know you're going to buy meter, hello meter. How are you distribution? You don't have money to buy for meter for your customers. I don't know what kind of who sold you this deal. Who sold you the company?
They don't have the right people to
But
tell
see, if
them.
you want to know the truth about that NEPA, if I tell you something, everybody will just be shaking their head. Those NEPA, they just sold it among themselves. Abu Salam, Obasanjo, all of these top leaders, they sold it among themselves to now make matters worse. Initially, they said they are going to pump in money, but they did not pump in money. But as blackout continued to continue in Nigeria during Buhari regime, it continued to give them money to solve the problem. So at the end of the day, most of them became moribund. They are
But they
into this.
don't know how electricity work. How can they
No,
pump in
it's not
money?
about
They
how
don't know
electricity
about the
works.
business. You
It's not
see,
even about how electricity works. You know, Nigeria, very greedy set of people. How
No,
come as a former
that's
president,
the
you just
problem.
say,
Stop right there. So you're telling me that if you are sold it to CMS or GE, they actually know what the hell it is all about structure.
Thank you.
Come on, it's different now. You can't compare
go
those
and
two
ask
things.
Jonathan now. Shebi Jonathan was there. Obasanjo also participated in all of these things. They don't know GE or they don't know all those big companies all over the world that can help them. They knew now as technical partner. They wouldn't dare do it. You
Well,
see
me, I
all
don't support this
corrections.
international partner that you're going through. Outsource. You have Nigeria
No,
Association of
that
Engineers. Put
refinery
them
in
together as a team and put
they do
business
what?
to run our electricity. Why did they went to school? Why did they go to school?
I
So
beg.
they went to school
Let me tell you something.
to waste our money.
Most of our engineers sometimes, if we
He went
know
to evening school.
practical one model do.
Even if
Those
evening
guys that went
school.
to school to chase girls. You think they went to school?
Tí Nàìjíríà bá gbéwèé sọ̀kalẹ̀ fẹ́ báyìí, wàá rò pé it's the number one. Gbé sí practical, ó ti tán ni.
I know. Yeah, but don't we have
serious.
Nigeria outside the countries that are willing, like you guys? If they want you, some of you guys now, you can go back and do these things.
Hold on. I've told you before on this show. One of the biggest head of power down in Texas, that region, is a man from Benin. The man will not stake his reputation to help Nigeria. I'm telling you now.
So
Yeah,
how about
because they
getting
will
off in
buy
non
him.
Texas?
Follow
How about getting off in non
They
Texas?
will buy
because
him. He's
because the
scared.
guy no, listen to what I'm saying. Because they've approached the guy said for me to work with you, this is what my demands A, B, C, D. Because when you work in the West, it's more than money to you. Your reputation matters a lot. So once you know your people, they trust the one now. So there are, like you rightly said, there are Nigerians that are abroad that can help out to, but one for good reputation one or is at stake because they don't want to sacrifice their reputation for Nigeria. What any?
I don't buy that excuse. That's our country. Let's go back.
Okay, but
Whatever
okay,
it takes.
yeah, okay, what's it about? It just all this no, I'm telling
I
you
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
because okay, if he says that, okay, I will help you, and he gets there and they start playing games with him, and
Right.
we are sorry, and let's do this, let's share this. People like that at that level, they don't want that. They want something.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
we
one
even
second
have
now.
example now. Remember that accountant, whatever she is, that they had to they sold him out, or they sold her out.
Oh,
So
Kemi, I
yeah,
get from Kemi
yeah, one of those lady.
from
Just
Ogun
be
State. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So I know, I understand. Like a lot of people know how things work in Nigeria, and they're scared that
If I get
you
there, they don't want to give me the leeway to do my work. They don't want me to, so they don't want to put their reputation on the line at all
Right,
time.
right.
We
We,
can't blame
But
them.
I'm even disappointed in Buhari that time. That came Nigeria. I don't know why Nigeria, because of just simple NYC stuff. You can tell you can do it after the ministerial position now.
But she's the one that resigned now. It's not like she was.
I know because the government did not also help. Also, they should have helped her. They should have said, okay, fine, it's here now because she's
Nah,
doing.
she wanted to do the honorable thing and like, okay, so I've been accused of this one.
Honorable. Since that
Hmm?
woman left, that is the problem of that country just started. Because at that particular moment, she's wonderful. She is doing a great job as a finance minister. Immediately they put that, I'm sorry, I'm not saying the other woman it's not good too, but immediately she was there, nothing. Everything just. Do you think if Ade Oshun is there up to that 8 years of Buhari, do you think he will allow Emefiele to be doing stupid things like that? He won't. But the Hausa woman they put there does not know nothing. Just continue. In fact, really.
yeah, but how can we fix it? I mean, I mean,
Let me be
it
frank.
can't be like this forever
With you.
now.
Let me be frank with you. If they want to fix it, to tell you the truth, that country must go. Everybody must carry their cross. It's either you go to state, control your resources, no more money for Abuja, or you go back to your region. Because there is no way you still remain as a country as in Nigeria, and people will always that sentiment will always be there. That division will always be there, whether you like it or not. We don't trust one another among the three major tribes. So if you want that
So
country to
why we always think the three major tribes? What about the other tribe? Those don't trust each other. The small.
no, thank God now the country is already into 6 regions now. So everybody carry their cross.
No, this idea of Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, as if nobody else exists. We always
No, I'm trying to tell you that
we escape all these other tribes that they
Nigeria
are all
is
corrupt.
already in six regions.
You
So
see
what
Calabar, Ijaw, Kanuri, all of them are not.
yes, now the Kanuri we have their northeast as a region.
No, I'm saying no. You don't hear me. When Nigeria want to talk about the corrupt, tribes that are corrupt, say Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, as if all these other ones are not part of the problems.
They're also part of the problem because they are
Exactly.
also as corrupt as Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo at the same time. So what I'm suggesting, but I don't know whether the rest of Nigeria will accept it. Total resource control. What you get in your state is yours. Just pay 20% to the federal government. Chicken up. Let's see whether they will accept that one. You will see that everything will turn around. It will be like a miracle. Because that at that particular time, you shift the body of
Kulata State will go bankrupt.
So
What
let them
is that?
bankrupt. Let
This
them
is
bankrupt. That shows you that if you work hard for your state, people will move there. If I am like Taraba,
what
I
about
will give a lot of
Zamfara?
incentive. No,
What about that?
Samfara that have gold, let them continue to kill themselves because
Are
of
you
gold.
sure?
Let them when they kill themselves to some certain state, senses will come to their senses, what do you call it, and they will be fine with whatever. But as it stands today, whether you like it or not, change the constitution, change all of it, it's still the same problem. It's
Remy,
that,
Remy,
yeah,
um, there's a second option
okay.
apart from the resource control, and that will be for Nigeria to build strong institutions.
Ah,
And wait, hold on. Why am I saying that? When you look at these Western countries, for example, America, they have different races there. They have Jews, they have Arabs, they have Africans, they have the whites, they have this diversity there, like we do on tribal line in Nigeria. Yet the country functions because I believe it's because they have strong institutions. So why don't we go down that lane of building strong institutions, which I think
I will
is
tell you
easier?
because of how Nigeria is made, that strong institution you are talking about is always compromised every time. And the reason why it's always compromised is because of that ethnicity and tribal. For example, if they pick a Yoruba man now and they want to sentence him there, now Yoruba people will say, what about Hausa man that did that one in the last year or 3 or 4 years ago? What did they
So
do to him?
that simply means
That
the
is, so
institution is not strong.
I'm
It,
telling
it
you why
simply means it's not strong.
In America, America is a state, is immigrant country. It's easy. Some countries, instead of going
Why
to,
is it easy? Why is it easy?
it's easy because their great grandfather prepared the ground for them. They are immigrants, but they follow the rules and regulations from the beginning. But in Nigeria, from the beginning, there is that tribal sentiment there.
What
So
are
you
you
see,
talking to me? That don't use that. Let's focus on Nigeria. The example you use.
so from the beginning, that tribal is there. Another thing I would say, that, like for example, here in Finland, what they did is not like a state. What they have their capital city, then some small city in the outskirts of Helsinki, which is their capital city, is under the capital area. And then they have their northern region, and their northern region they have like three or two provinces, very big. Okay, so that's what they do. In that way, they cost the cost of governance. But in Nigeria, if you want to do that, then that tribal sentiment will also come into it. But luckily for that country now, with that six regions, everybody can go their way. So I'm not good. I'm not saying to divide the country if they cannot control their region. The easiest way, the disadvantage of
Can I ask
region.
you a question real quick? Let me ask you a question.
Before you ask, let me conclude in 20 seconds. The disadvantage of regionalism is this, because a lot of people, a lot of region already want to go away. They can use that way to go away from the country easily. But if you now say total resource control for all the states, which some states might not like, but that is the best option. You control your resources. Don't go to Abuja to go and beg for money again. Just send royalty 20 or 25% of what you get in your state. Send it to the central government. The central government will talk about foreign policy and economy. It's over. That way, you will see competition. You will see development. And even in so-called America, we all know that the East Coast and the West Coast are very rich, and why the Central Plain is not very good. So the same thing will happen in Nigeria. We are going to have poor state, and we are going to have wealthy state, and we are going to have one in the middle. That is the one that can save that country. Then we can now be talking about institution, so that everybody will know that, okay, I'm in your state, the resources belong to me. So I don't need to care about what is coming from the state. My governor is the one I'm going to hold responsible. So with that not in place, I don't see anywhere we are going. No matter the decision you want to create.
Okay, so I see your point. What you're proposing is we'll first go down the line of
You want local?
regionalism.
Yeah,
Then
Abdul.
from
Resource
there,
control. I prefer that resource control than even
okay,
that.
resource control. Then from there, we'll now build strong institutions.
Yes. With that
It
way,
has to
everybody will
be
know they
Okay.
are equal
Abdul.
parts. So no one.
Abdul. The point is, it has to be local. Like for example, in my local government, if I were to address my local government council chairman about a fund that was stolen or missing, we are both Ekbas. Nobody will say I'm attacking an Igbo man or a Fulani man. We are both from the same area. I probably am married to their cousin or they live down the street. So we know each other. We are from the same tribe. So it will be easier to build from there than always focusing on the center. That will be a better approach. You get the point? So it has to start from the local print. Yeah.
Wait, you kind of like bring it out of my mouth. That's exactly the question I was gonna ask him, because I know like local, like you said, that will be the best way because you're from the same tribe. Like you can what else can you use against each one another? Nothing. But
Yeah, like
even if it's regional or state wise, in a state you have different tribes, they will still complain. Yeah, Egba can tell you that, oh, Ijebu people is there now.
yeah.
I
So
don't like them. Egba,
but if it's your local
Egba.
government, right?
Exactly.
Uh,
But if it's local
uh,
government, no, what else do you want to say? Because he's
So,
dark skin or maybe he's
so
light skin.
BT, I'm looking like, yeah, what you and Remy proposed looks similar to what the system in America from bottom up.
right.
So it's
So
kind of similar, I
so
think.
you can hold each other accountable at that level. Guess what happens? The quality of representative that you will then produce, because
Mm,
at that point, anybody coming out to represent you will be someone because you have representative to put it as a people. So the quality will come out. They have to
mm,
debate now. You will stop seeing Yakabiru Yanosimo all those riffraff will disappear. We want to see quality. I'm serious. People that have something to offer will not come out. The quality, you start seeing quality in leadership.
That makes sense. It looks
and
plausible.
in a local
That looks
government like
plausible.
that, and in a local government like that, almost everyone will know one another because it's so small that you probably know where your chairman
You
lives.
live down the street now. We know your house
Exactly.
now.
Everybody knows. So you can tell that okay, this guy is intelligent. We know this. Like they will say Egma Adubo or somebody or I forgot how they used to you say that in Nigeria, like someone that went to university. You know how to refer to them because you already know this person. Or if this person is a professor, you know them. So it's easy for us to choose a leader
Oh yeah, like
because we're
our
familiar with them.
counselor back then in my area in the 80s was 3 streets from my house.
My counselor in
We used to
my
have
street
town hall. We used to have
lives
town.
like three.
He was the de facto head of the landlord association. They used to have meetings with him every time, anything security issues. We knew who he was. He would hang out with us, discuss issues with us. If
You
we have
even
concern, he would discuss
invite
with us.
yourself to parties, like if you're doing birthday parties or
And
this. So
that's the way. Guess what? Guess what? We're like in our area. We want someone that is we want I want like well I feel cool. My embarrassment.
So, Babati, just
That's
the
what
mere
it was.
pronouncement of financial autonomy to local government. A lot of people in Yoruba land have started talking. If a chairman in my local government, I will know that he lives in my community. I want to see how he's not going to do that road in front of my house.
yeah, that's how it used to be.
I will take him to court. I know him. We can go to him and beat him up. Okay? They don't have immunity. People already know you don't
No
have immunity.
violence, no violence.
No, I know no violence, but what they are trying to say is that without no immunity, they can take him
No,
to
no, no,
court.
no, no, no. He should have it at the back of his mind that in case he don't
Of
misbehave,
course, now I will not
it's
stop
an
turn
option.
this to truth now. So that's a photo you push, I want to know, that is the truth. Because Oju want to Rito, they are tired already. They have seen how come we don't have light, how come we don't have good road, and upon money voted. Let me bust your bubble. Do you know that Ogbomoso local government they are claiming 19 billion naira from your state governor? How does he spend the money in total of 2 years? 1 year, 19 billion naira, nothing to show. And that is one of the reasons he's fighting tooth and nail because we have stole
And
part of the money.
let me give you an example. Example. If we have this in the local government council, we can say, okay, in our own area, no borehole will be allowed. We will provide you water in our area. You will pay for the water, but no borehole,
But
right?
see, I have a
That's
proposal.
standard.
I have a proposal, a very radical one. You want me to say it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So every state go separate way. Every state control their own resources. However, those viable states that have the means and the capability can acquire other states. So states like states like
Fekiti, Logun.
states, no, no, there will be merger and acquisition. So
Colonizer,
it
colonizer,
Can enslave other states.
colonizer.
We put them
Wale,
together.
I like your sense of humor.
Or we can buy slaves from the other states.
Ekiti and Oshu can match together and promote tourism, and then Ondo join them. Lagos will acquire Ogun, whereby their former governor has mortgaged
Lagos will put Ogun into
the future of Ogun State.
Eti
So
Egbono.
it
Eti
will take
Egbono.
that long before Chinese take over Ogun
Egbono,
State.
Enisuru. On a more serious note, I'm not joking. Who did we offend in Ogun State?
Àwọn
On a more
alálẹ̀ ni
serious,
wọ́n bínú sí yín ni.
on a more serious note, Talashe, Ogun State.
Àwọn kìíní ló ń sà sí wa, àwọn
No,
òyìnbó.
Babati, but the guy came out though. The governor came out and kind of like
By mistake. Or,
yeah, yeah.
Orí ẹ̀ ti
you started talking by mistake.
ó ń
Hey,
parọ́. He's
by the
lying.
time this administration is done, too, he too will sell a portion of that state. That means Chinese will just take
No.
over.
Dewale, you are missing my point. This is what I'm trying to say. If this is what we just found out that the guy signed by mistake, what other mistake did he make that we don't know yet? What else did he sign?
It's such
He
a
said pending when everything is sorted out that he appointed a foreign company to oversee the trade zone. However, only to find out that the company that he appointed were actually the original.
Yeah,
Oh, ni ó fẹ́ jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ ni ó yí mọ́ lọ́wọ́
Because
ni.
Nigerians have connived with those.
you know what? They never even terminated the contract of that junction in the beginning. The contract is still existing. So there's a lot of shenanigans going on around that place. And I always see my people that they are above board. I mean, some of them, not all of them. But they really disappointed me. That Amoson. I can't believe my eyes. In fact, this present one, he had to teach a mistake to what he will have signed a lot of contract by mistake. So Babati
But you,
gets
you, you will not find that in the next 4 years. They will not say you owe something again from nowhere. You just say you have signed something out. Only God knows what they're hiding. You know.
But don't worry. Chinese, those companies will release those two jets because they also want to partake in Nigeria economic growth. Because this is the policy of their government now. Go outside there, sell your company. Let's use our own technology to help other countries to build roads, bridges. They are interested in three things: road, rail, and free trade zone. Go and check it out. Chinese government or Chinese company everywhere in the world, especially in Africa. That is why they are putting
But
their
the
effort.
free trade first one in Lagos is being managed by a local company. How come they contracted it to the
No,
foreign
no,
company?
no, no. It's a local company, but there is a lot of Chinese there. In
Oh,
fact, that is the deepest in West Africa, and the largest ship back there some few months ago. I
Sorry,
think Nigeria, the
who
Chinese
owns
are smart.
who
Nigeria,
owns Alaro? Is he Chinese?
yes,
It's
it's
Chinese, right?
Chinese, it's Chinese,
Okay.
and the Chinese are smart. They knew that Nigeria is ready for business. And if we continue to go in this track, I just like one thing. An average Nigeria, through the use of social media, are more aware of everything in Nigeria. If we had been aware like that like 20 years ago, maybe the country would have gone around. I think people are shouting. People
if
are,
the rate information is being disseminated these days,
yes.
with the use of social media, internet, everything, they're kind of like making life easy. Unlike when we have
Yeah,
to wait
yeah.
for the
Make it
NTA,
easy. Yeah. And it's
Federal
also,
Radio
I'm not saying
to
there's no corruption, no, but at least also reduce a little bit. Before you do it, a lot of people already put you outside there. Look at the way they just do that better they do now. Those people he gave money to that they recorded the video, they just released it outside. Look at, oh my God.
Yeah,
But
but how
you
many
agree with me
but how
that
many
the social media must
Nigerians?
be regulated in Nigeria.
Do you know what they did in China? Before you can have an what do you call it, a social media account, they use your, if you're a foreigner, use your international passport. If you're local, use your ID card. The moment they do that in Nigeria, you will see that people will not be talking anyhow anymore. If they do
Yeah,
that in Nigeria,
but how many
people,
Nigerians actually have access to internet
A
they have
or
lot,
that.
social media?
a
They
lot.
can,
No, no,
they
no.
do.
I'll give you the numbers now. Nigerians on Twitter is 5 million out of 320 million people.
Are
Nigerians
you
on
sure?
Instagram. Wait, listen. Nigerians on Instagram, according to them, according to Twitter, Nigerians on Twitter is 5 million. Nigerians on Instagram is 12.2 or 12.3 million. Nigerians on Facebook, they're about 20 million. Nigerians on WhatsApp, maybe like 30 million or so. So
Maybe we are not
what are we
sure.
talking about? Majority of Nigerians are not present.
No, I don't
No,
agree
But
with
no,
that
that.
no.
number is still
They go
significant. That
online,
number
but
you
they
mentioned.
no, they go online, but they don't go on to like. You need to look at
Yes.
the
No, no,
internet
no.
You
I'm
know
presence
the
of the
talking
you
about
know
Nigerians.
the funniest thing
people that
about it.
register with
Some
them.
of them
Twitter
use
is
VPN a lot.
No, no,
Some
no.
of
That's not how. Okay, I
no,
don't
no.
want
some
to
of
go
them
What
into.
you
use
have
That's not how
seen,
it
VPN.
works.
Oriola,
Like,
Oriola, what you have seen is young Nigerians. They are the one interested in Twitter or
Can I give you
Facebook,
data?
and yeah.
Remy, hold on. Let me give him data. Internet, okay. Oh, okay. The I think it's about 55.4% of Nigerians have access to internet, like full internet. 55.4% as of last 21. So the penetration of internet in Nigeria is about
through
55.4%.
their mobile
So
phone, correct?
okay. Don't say because people don't go on Twitter or go on Facebook, they don't go online. People have other things to do. with their lives, not just Twitter only.
No,
So
no,
not
I
not
know. I was just giving you the data for social media. It doesn't mean that that's the access. I'm just saying on social media, people that have presence on social media, that's the data I gave you. That doesn't tell us that that's the only people that go into access internet. That's not
so
what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm
So
just saying social media only.
so pretty much 100 million people plus have are online in Nigeria. That's what they say. 100 plus million in
Yeah,
Nigeria.
on their mobile phone.
Yes, yes.
And that's even debatable, but I don't. The reason why I said that is
No, no, it's not because no, because they can track it. They can literally track it with mobile companies, so they know. For that's a fact. It's not like debatable. They literally know.
right. I understand
Odiola, how
what you're
about
saying. Reason why I said
Olumide, Njoku, all of them living abroad and they're tweeting about Nigeria? How would they classify those ones?
yeah. So if you're let me give you like this. Um, if you every country has different IP address that allow. That's number one. Like if you stay in Nigeria and you trying to get into internet, you're using different IP compared to if you're doing it from US. It's different. That's number one. Number two, every social media, for example, or even Google, every time you want to access them, they give you an IP or a code or a number. So when you register with Facebook, for example, they give you a number digits. You will know your number. This is how you will know it. Right click your cursor and click on source code. That source code will tell you the number that you are. And everybody that is listed on your friend, you can tell what their number is because everything is numbers. So that numbers will tell you if you're like for me, for example, we register with Facebook since 2004 when they came here. Our number is different from people that register in Nigeria or any other countries. So that number is how they track it to know. And you yourself, you can use that number to track it that someone that registered in the US or England, the numbers is different from people that register in, let's say, Nigeria, for example, or other West African countries. So that's how they track it. So but I understand we can have close to 100 million people that access internet, which is might be correct, but you have to also understand that they provide us with people that are using smartphone in Nigeria. When it comes to like a lot of Nigerian people are still using 3G, and to access internet with 3G, I mean it's questionable. I mean it's fast, but not fast enough. So that would tell you the limits a lot of people have when it comes to like I'm Googling something trying to find more information or I'm trying to take classes online. You can tell with the type of data that your phone is running on. So I'm not saying that we don't have access. I'm just saying how many people on a daily basis actually visited internet.
But were you surprised that the number one searched web page in Nigeria was a porn site?
I
That surprised
I'm
you.
not. I mean, if you don't have job, what else would you do with your time?
Okay.
I mean,
Are
to be
you,
honest,
are you,
we always
are you,
complain that poor people have a lot of kids. They have a lot of times on their end now.
I use a lot of, most of the time, VPN. Uh,
They said in their hands, no pun intended.
let me switch off the topic a little bit about it. Earlier today, did you listen to Ekene and all that on the show
you know,
today?
at some point, you just feel indifferent about that space. I used to actually try to care about it, but at this point, I just don't give a damn. And if people want to be in a particular way that is not
But
beneficial to them,
Kulata's
there's
assertion
no
was
point.
bad when he's accused Obi of not speaking up when it comes to the happening in the southeast. But he's always eager to, lend a voice when it's a national issue, especially from other regions.
No, no. When they forget to be for a second, that annoying Obese Kweli, that one
Oh,
is what I can't stand the most. That one could
it's
just be
one of the
quiet.
people that I'm highly disappointed in.
Just
She disappointed me big time. She did. Because this is a woman that, I mean, I get it. You are pained because your kinsman did not become president. But that does not mean that you continue to constitute nuisance. I mean, look at what is her name? This
Wait,
Rival woman.
can you bring up to date? Can you bring some of us to up to date? Because I
So
didn't watch our interview,
so
but
so what actually led to that was that day before yesterday actually. No, yesterday. Uh uh Man of Prestige came on the show and he was accusing one man of, you know, amplifying some of those rhetorics about southeastern stuff and all that. And there was a video that was circulating on media, on social media, when somebody was talking about, uh, uh, you know, talking about Benin or something like that, to the point that he was being abused and in a way. And so Rational mind, I mean, sorry, rational mind. Man of Prestige now said has been debunked that those people that were talking about the issue or abusing the Oba of Benin were actually Yoruba. And meanwhile, today, one man now played a video where he depicted that the man, those people were actually from the southeastern. And in the course of that, Kulata now said that, look, some of these things are anybody can abuse anybody, but he now refers to Obi and Obiese Kwesili for not speaking up when issue happens in their region, but they're always quick to tweet and to lend a voice when it happens in another region. And Okene was talking about being proud to be an uh, Biafran agitator and also talking about HIPOP not being classified as terrorist group and all that. I was disappointed. Number one, because it seemed people do not want to look at the fact that look, this thing happens in your region because it's your region, and some of the time we are beclouded by affiliations and all those things, and we don't want to speak the truth. And Hiv and IPO, what actually led to that was Samuel Ekpa when there was one man said that he showed a video where he was jogging and claimed that he was in Venezuela's presidential area or something like that. They said he's actually running away from Finland and stuff like that. And the debate about whether IPOB is a terrorist organization or not a terrorist, and the likes of Banner Prestige saying that, oh, no, they are not terrorist organization. They are just, And then now, I don't know, somebody was mentioning, look, it was Soli. I was mentioning some of the atrocities being committed by this same group. And then I said, oh, the government has not classified them as a terrorist organization. So my own case is that I don't understand. Yes, you could be a proud Biafran. There's nothing wrong. Like I said earlier, that we are once a tribe before we are Nigeria. And I don't see how Nigeria is going to see themselves as Nigeria first before a tribe. I don't think, because the Yoruba man will identify himself as a Yoruba man or Oduduwa or Ijoma or Ikwere man or Kalabari man, right? Or Igbo man. Then before they now say, well, I'm a Nigerian. So if we see it that way, I think we'll do better as a society than just be, blinded and just saying things, in a way. And the way in that video that was played, the way they actually uh, dealt with Oba of Benin, I mean, it was the most condescending thing I've ever heard about. It being said about that referred man. And then another video showing somebody saying they should throw the king in the lagoon or something like that. It was
Yeah,
baffling.
they were like, quick question. If I come to an area and I say the area was a swamp and I developed it, I will not be the first person to call for its destruction because it will be my life work, right? If I build something, I will not be the first person to call for its to destroy that place. Kind of debunks the whole myth of developing Lagos. But it's when that person now is now picked up by the DSS or the police, then he becomes a victim. Then the same people will start defending him, like, oh, look, poor,
Right.
look at the way he's being
Right.
persecuted. That's
Right.
the issue I have with that space. It's just
Right. I mean, that particular man was, talking down on the Oba of Benin and stuff. I mean, and even the Oba of Lagos was talking about the issue. I can't even repeat some of the things that he said. Those things are very, very despicable, and I wonder why people are having a hard time to they condemn it, but so like on the other hand, you're like,
So,
yeah, you're this.
Adewale, with all this thing that is happening in Nigeria, what do you think is the way out? Because it clearly shows that we don't like one another anymore. That is
We
true. Honestly.
do, we do,
No, no, we don't.
we do,
That's
we do.
that, no,
What
no,
we
no.
fail to, what we
You know
fail
what?
to,
That let me
we
tell you
do.
something. That 8 years of Buhari clearly show that these people they don't like him. And that 2023 election clearly show a big division between the Southeast and Southwest. It's like a big rivalry that I don't want to lose to these people. For God's sake, the election is over 1 year old now. And still that division is still there. So, and if they are claiming that they build your Lagos for you, that Lagos is anybody can go there or whatever they like, or it's all Nigeria, why are there not people moving to Anambra, Enugu, and the rest? So the division is there, and when people they have a right to say whatever they want, but for me, I think the solution should be all states control their resources. And if you want to live in Lagos, you have to abide by their rules and regulations. It's as simple as ABC. If I am in another state and I can get things done by that because I'm from that place, fine for me. And if they say, tell me, no, you are not from Oyo, go to Ogun, then I'll pack my bag and move to Ogun. Because at this time today, I don't see, because the way they are playing it's like we are playing with fire. And I hope it does not consume everyone. So before it gets too late, I don't know how the president is going to do it, or the House of Assembly is going to do it. There must be something for everybody. So it's not too late if we have our resources or go back to region. This thing will die down. So if you think your region is the richest, then go to your region and make your money there. Nobody will complain. At least no Yoruba man will go to Hausa and say, Arewa is part of my land. Even to them, it's shocking news. Do you know that even in the north now, the Hausa are saying that they are not Fulani anymore? So this social media really help. The Kanuri are saying they are not Fulani. The North Central are saying they are not Fulani, they are totally different people. So the division is there all over the country. So what is the solution? Tomorrow they will abuse each other. Today I've seen a picture of Kanu Nwanko. Kanu, they put a stupid head on his head. So they are fighting one with one another. So what can we do? Or should the government ban social media? Because that is the place of fighting, including Twitter. If they ban it, Nigeria will cry. If they regulate it, they will cry. So what can we do?
Social media need to be regulated in Nigeria, special. It is becoming inimical. It's becoming a big deal now. You guys remember what happens in America, right? Until today, people are still accusing one another, abusing one another. And when you have a fragile democracy and a complex society like ours, which is not as sophisticated as America, America has an institution to defend, to protect, but ours is just a wannabe democracy. And as fragile as it is, it becomes important that the government step in to forestall uh, future chaos. So, if they regulate, because look, how much does government have to be using the resources that is not even enough to prosecute people that run foul, of freedom of speech or abusing other people? Um, Now we'll be now putting our judiciary to use for something that shouldn't have been in the first place. I think government should regulate. I mean, I'm not saying that the government should be high-handed like the one in China, but at least controls every individual in Nigeria connected to internet on their phone have an IP address. They can trace you, they can track you. However, if they put the legislation in place, and I believe it will be supported by a lot of people, what you're saying, and it plays out before the election, where some people are being put in one house and for them to be attacking people left and right and pushing out false information. Today, if you type anything on the social media, maybe you're responding to any topic, the next thing you will see is you'll be Momo, you're an idiot.
Um,
Um,
can I
a
ask you a
lot
question?
of things. Yeah.
Would regulating the social media resolve the ethnicity rivalry that we have? Because I believe that that's not the right solution. But if we do regulate it, you're postponing the issue further, because it will still happen in the future. Just because they can't say it on the social media does not mean when we come in person, we won't still have that rivalry.
As a
So,
matter
do
of
you
fact,
think
we should be
social
glad
media?
that they we
Huh?
should be glad that we have a medium where we can really see how people really feel sometimes.
Exactly. I agree with you. Yeah.
At least now you know how they feel as opposed to
It's
the
been like that forever. It's just never in this open.
but
I,
nobody
I,
knew it was this bad now.
You know, Babati, the problem of Nigerians is uh, they like to ignore their problems, right? Whenever something exists, and because it doesn't make them feel good, they just want to act as if it doesn't exist. So this thing on social media of these certain Nigerians having bad feeling, like because hatred towards another people, it's always been there. But what always happened over the years was when those people want to have conversation, maybe expressing. Sorry, smart lady calling me. Sorry. Well, anyway, whenever anyone want to address it, they'll say no, 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 no. It's too sensitive. No, no, no. Don't talk. You understand? Just like the Nigerian government, they banned discussing after the end of the war. They made it almost illegal for anyone to talk about it. You know that kind of
That was
stuff.
a
As
that was a
if the
mistake.
problem will go away.
That was a mistake, man. That was
You
a mistake.
understand? Like it will go away. So he's catching up to them now. Now you have people, you force them to keep whatever they are, what's bugging them inside of them because you are not comfortable hearing it. And it's always a black man's problem where a black man prefers to protect his feeling over actually dealing with reality, dealing with problems. If a black man sees solution to a problem and he knows that, oh, if I approach that solution, it's going to hurt my feelings, he would rather leave that problem to exist. You understand? So people saying, "Oh, let's ban social media," rather than addressing why people hate people. So now you ban it. That especially those leaders, they don't want to hear it. So you now hearing it means the way those people feel will now disappear, or the hatred will go away. I don't
Uh,
get it.
Mike, remember there was a period of time on this platform where one man was diving into that civil war stuff and he became so uncomfortable, but we were moving and he shied away from it at some point because people just didn't want to have that conversation at some point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
For a
remember
long time, one man was like, "Oh, no, no, it's too uncomfortable. I don't want to go." I'm like, dude, what sense are you making here? You gotta have your just like get to the bottom of whatever issue you have, the differences, the lies, and open up the debunk all the propaganda. You debunk everything, put it all out. But I don't know what it is about. It's a black man thing. I don't know. It's like we always want to protect feelings over because all these things Nigerians are fighting over. It's something they should address, dealt with in the 70s and 80s. It should have been gone already, ironed out, and by now this generation should not have to be dealing with it.
Mike, don't you
But they will
think?
kick the can down the road because it's so uncomfortable to address. Kick
Right.
it down the road.
Yeah, but don't you think the fact that a lot of people that weren't born in the 70s when the Civil War happened, because they were pushing it forward and forward, or they didn't tell us the story. Like we don't know the
They
history
were
of what
uncomfortable,
happened.
man. It was uncomfortable. That's all it
Right.
was.
Yeah, but it's a problem today because everybody is hearing different stories. This one is saying this is our stuff. The other person is saying this. So it's more like if to say that history is kept intact and we're being told
Mhm.
a lot of things that's going on today probably wouldn't happen like that because you
Like, let me
know.
give you
It's like the U.S. government saying, "Oh, slavery is so uncomfortable to talk about, and now erase it." Like it's part of the reason why they don't teach us about slavery even in Africa. Like none of us knew slavery existed. So most Africans don't even know slavery happened until
no,
when they now travel to outside of Nigeria. Like people start telling them, like, "Oh, the black Americans we were slaves. You sold us," you know. So and a lot of the mistakes were made during the slave trade, even the colonial time. We're still making every mistake this way.
Of course, you're going to repeat the same
The
when you
same
don't know
mistake.
it.
You never
When you don't
learn
know
from
it,
your mistake. You're so
yeah,
uncomfortable. You're
yes.
embarrassed, so you don't want to talk about. I mean, like, come on, man.
no, no, let me,
Even the civil war, all those things that led to it, all those mistakes they made back then. Every goddamn
Isn't
single
that what's
mistake playing
happening
out
today?
today.
That's exactly what's happening today. What led to it is what's happening today.
That's
no,
why
like,
black man will
let,
never advance in this life because the way we
let me give
approach
you
things is just so backward.
an example, and Mike will agree with me on this. Sometimes if you fight a war and you lose the war, and like we said, we never discuss the issue, and you start having children and grandchildren, you don't want to look like you lost the war. You want to you start making up stories to make it look like at least so you start filling up that space because there's nobody's, you never had that conversation. So what you notice in that space is when people come up with stories about what transpired, you will have like 20 versions of the same story. My uncle told me, no, my uncle fought in the war. No, it was the army. It was the cleaner in the war. No, it was the driver.
So you
So you
expect
have
somebody to lose a war to tell you the truth. So,
yes,
Babati, so if you and let's say real like got in a fight in a room. You guys were the only two there, and no
hmm
one witnessed the fight or something like that. And let's say Babati beat you. So when you guys leave the room, you come and tell me how Babati beat.
but I'm
Oh
saying
no,
that.
I'll be
But
like I was the
You
one.
come and tell me how Babati
uh,
beat
I
you.
I'll let people know I beat his ass, man.
but I'm saying that.
Exactly. So
But that's the problem we're having. But nobody actually kept official records to make it public, so we can have that discussion and that conversation. That way, we don't have problems. We can move.
you
We can
have to
all learn
use
from it.
the Obasanjo. They are so useless, so stupid. How can you win a war? And then you you don't tell the story. You let the person that lost the war because most of the if you go on YouTube, now all the Biafran stories, what happened, are all being told by Igbo people. All the documentaries, and people writing the books. In fact, most of the books, people that wrote the book were the people that fought, that lost. Like
Mike,
the
they
Ojukus,
even
the
changed the name. Oh,
most
it's
of
so
the
bad.
general on the Biafran side, they were the one that wrote most of the stories.
No, no, Mike, they even changed the name because it's not it's this Nigerian Civil War, not the Biafra War. Even the name itself is already they've already it's the Nigerian Civil War. It wasn't the Biafran War. It's the
Exactly.
Nigerian Civil War. So
And
you
the ones that won the war, they kept quiet. They don't even tell the story. They are the one that won't ban history. I'm like, oh my god, and, dude, you guys cannot blame the Southeasterners. Give them most of the blame. Most of the blame is the Nigerian state, especially the Obasanjo, all those guys that ruled. The same people that won the war, the one that ruled us for people that fought the war and won. They were the one that ruled us until even till today, like till Obasanjo's regime and Buhari, and they are the one that won the war and they don't tell the story. They kept quiet. In fact, they put the story in the hands of the Ojukus and those ones to tell their people. Not only you defeated them and then you brought them back and you put them in charge of their people. I mean, what kind of
Mike,
bread?
Mike, let
The
me
way
give
a
you an
black man
example.
think is just I don't get it.
Let me give an example. Mike, we were doing a movie review for Passion Ruga, okay? And some people that were involved in the movie, so we were going back and forth with them about the movie. And one of the issues we raised was that if you ever notice in Yoruba movie, anytime they bring up Ilorin, they always show them as being like Muslim, Islamic. If you notice, any Yoruba movie that you watch, like they will put the tab.
Yes, yes, yes.
But during Bashar Gas time,
That wasn't
the,
true.
during Bashar Gas time, they hadn't had that invasion yet. It wasn't Islamic yet. But in the movie, they were showing them as being Islamic. I'm like, that is inaccurate. It wasn't depicting, and we can't discuss it. That area is very sensitive to Yoruba people. We can't discuss it learning.
That
I say,
word is very
I know.
sensitive. It just always annoys me. Even within my family, Babati, like there are issues in my family, right? that goes back, and till today it caused a lot of division, and then no one wants to talk about it. And for decades now, I'm telling you, there's some fights in my family that when it's time to have the conversation, before we get deep in it, they say, "Oh, it's too sensitive," and no, or I'm like, but this problem is not going away until you get address your
Wait,
problem. You got to talk. They will say it's too sensitive. I'm like, what the?
wait, if I may add to that, it's not even only about when you have miscommunication. It's not only even about that. Even with your culture, you know, like some people, especially some Yorubas, they find it difficult to tell us like the rules. Like, let's say, our own family. You have to do this. Is this so this? This is who we look up to. So you know, like every different family, like compounds, they have either you are from Shango, whatever, or you're from what they call them. There's so many that you're from. Some people have hard time discussing that, like
Oh,
letting
there are
like the
Agbole
youth,
issues. Yeah,
yeah,
Agbole. Yeah.
like letting like the younger people know that okay, this is us, our great. This is how we are from our family. This is if you go to our own compound, we are from Ogun family. This is all we do. If you go to compound, this is it. They have hard time actually saying those things. I don't understand why we can't say things how it is. It doesn't matter what that doesn't mean I'm going to start doing those things. But I have to learn about who I am. But you don't want to tell your kids who you guys are.
Because
Now
they've converted to new religion, so they're uncomfortable.
we
So I
man,
see, like whether you convert or not, you still have to tell the story, the truth, bring out truth, facts, and so people can be educated about themselves, where they're from, and but I don't know, it's a black man thing. We have a mentality that's very bad, man. Because because I've been privileged to interact with non-blacks, like white people, and they don't do things like that. They're straightforward, even in the most uncomfortable. Like I said, white people are telling story of how they enslaved blacks.
See,
Even though they know it was wrong for them to do it, they say it's the truth. So we have to lay it out. We have to tell the history, whether it's
yeah, but
bad
that's the
or good.
best way for you not
We
to
have to be educated
because
about the truth.
yeah,
yeah,
that's the way
But blacks
the
will be like,
fence
oh, it's
the
too
pity.
sensitive. No, we have to take
Ola,
this
Ola,
out.
Ola, Ola. Even that Saudi Arabia, they used to on board Shambete, on board their gods better than them now.
Even up to today.
But they still
Those
preserve those things. They didn't say because it's now Islamic, they should destroy everything. They still preserve their thing.
yeah, go to Israel. Those countries they do see
I've
this
been there. They
Islamic and
preserve all,
Christianity
even
thing is a tradition. Is a tradition thing to them. It's not really religion that we are thinking it is. You
even
see, we
even
have to
Egypt,
learn.
pre the pharaohs, they still have the artifacts there. They never got rid of them. But our own, once we bring one, we say go and burn your gods. I remember back in
They
my
made us
hometown
hate
back then.
ourselves, man. They made us
Once
They
they
hate
have
say it's
ourselves.
forbidden to talk about this one.
no
Even
no 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 Mike, back then they will, once they do a crusade, they will say go and bring all your orisha. They will not be burning them during the
because to
crusade.
buy many people, Jenny.
Yeah, they made us hate
Buy
ourselves.
so
They
many
made
people,
us
Somebody will
Jenny.
go
hate
and bring
ourselves.
their families. Once you buy one, go be burning it. That is, you have cost yourself and your generation now.
Generation cross, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
many Nigerians over Dafa by if I always talk about that thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Mike,
Many
but
of
you
Mike,
know,
them, he always talk about in called dealing with the down lamb. Even within my
Mike and
family,
Beatrice.
yeah, Babati, yeah, my family, the ones that are when I Dafa, if I always tell me like exactly what's going on with them. These ones that I've lost. And when I try to educate them, they don't want to hear it. I say, come, this is what the oracle is telling you. The something within the bloodline that's been abandoned has been. You have to appease. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it, and this thing is
Come on,
bugging them that
voila, you keep having problems. In here.
they're having problem. To the point where I just left them alone. I just seen. They're having serious problem. Like, and the oracle is telling me exactly. There's one of my cousin, the guy. He is literally when you start making it, everything is doing just collapsing. To the point where he had a DUI now, he lost his license. He's losing everything, and it's very obvious what's fighting him. And I know what he needs to, he needs to appease, what he needs to the thing within the family now, and it was his father. I mean, starting from my grandfather that abandoned the deity, the orishas, and he couldn't delay. So the grandchildren, the thing is affecting them, and the few of us that are still in the tradition, we try to tell them, but they don't. We can't even talk to them. They see us as the devil. Like they don't. They will say, "No, Jesus and Muhammad will help us to conquer it. They help us." I'm like, okay, continue.
Mike,
nothing. But work on the problem. And they don't want to believe that.
Mike, the irony part of it is this. Look at Finland. They are like a Christian. But here is only one church in this environment I'm living. On Sunday, you can count how many Igbo people go to that church. They are not up to 20. Out of several, maybe 500,000, I don't know, 300,000 people living in this small city. They are only not up to, and those people too, when you see those ones that did not go, the way they will look at them, it's like these are lost sheep. And when you go to Dubai, you go to Qatar, all of this Muslim country, even the time they're supposed to go for Muslim prayer, they won't go. They don't take it so seriously like
people that are not religious, they even smoke.
See, I was even shocked when I was
weed. You know who produced the most weed? It's Afghanistan, and that's one of the Muslim countries. Come on, man! Like,
you know what shocked me when I was doing my youth services in Enugu, I saw Reverend Father drinking beer like shit. I was Reverend Father with his white drinking beer. I was like, so these people also bad in life like this. I thought they don't drink or they don't smoke. They are so holy. In fact, you know, that religion.
The one that annoys me is the hypocrisy of their life, the hypocrisy. They are the most dedicated to the church, and they commit more sin than even the Igbos that brought the Christianity. They commit, like you said, like drinking beer. The one that even annoys me, like Amati, in my family, like whenever they have serious problems, they will now come to me like, okay, every find out from the oracle what's wrong, you know. You find what is wrong. You know, like they will come behind the back and tell me not to tell anybody.
Don't tell
anybody.
That's how it is. That's
no.
After the religion failed them, they always
go and
go
give
back.
Testimony.
Nigeria
testimony in church.
You know what? When a Nigeria have a problem, he will use that church and mosque to cover face. But behind, you always go to that.
They will always go back home, man.
I can guarantee most 75% of Yoruba will do that. But in church, you will see them on Sunday. On Friday, you will see them on that mosque. You will think they are so holy, they are so religious.
Remy, I don't think it's 75. Especially I think it's 100%. 100%. Everybody remember where they're coming from. By the time they fail, the religion failed them, they go back to their thing. They go back.
Even in hospital,
even do you know that even in
my wife now, she worked in the hospital. There was one man, the doctor was like, the guy's health, this issue is just beyond. They can't figure it. So the doctor now told my wife like, hey, she should go help the man. That you know, through the spiritual way, whatever. And then the man just started begging my wife like, come help us. Well, even the doctor is a Christian, and the man too I think is a Christian. Whoa. So I'm like, wow.
Pastor me come ask for me, whoa. Lọ ṣe àtúnṣe ní mọ̀lẹ́bí ẹ̀ kò ní làmọ́lẹ̀ fún ẹ̀ tó bá yẹ ló yẹ.
But one thing I don't understand is if you see the convoy of that white that guy that always wear white, what is his name? That pastor in Nigeria. That always wear white. He's wearing like a white suit.
Yeah.
The one that if you see the convoy of this guy, I'm telling you, 2 limousines, Cadillac. I was like, kilo de president manina. 10 vehicles.
òun náà tẹ́ǹdì ni ó ti yẹ òun náà tẹ́ǹdì ni bó ṣe rí nìyẹn.
Wait, I have a question. Why are we so scared of who we are? Why are we so scared of
I think it's part
everything that we are?
The culture is the culture. You know, an average Yoruba man will tell you, don't tell anybody what you are doing. No. You don't know that. You don't know that. I will say it in Yoruba. I want to go by alarm takun, no takun daily. I think sometimes I think you guys understand it. So it's like, don't tell anybody, because if you tell anybody, you don't know who will wish you good or who will wish you evil.
But that's not what I understand the point that you're making. But meaning like who I'm really who I'm really is it her or who I'm really is as a person. A lot of people are scared of actually like saying this. Like for example, now if somebody asks me now, I don't really tell people like, oh, I'm Nigerian like that. I'll be like, oh, I'm Yoruba, but we're located inside Nigeria. And I will also go to let people know this is language we speak. I try to like let people understand. I mean, I'm just realizing that now. Like I'm trying to let people understand, like I know who exactly I am as a person. Like when it comes to religion or when it comes to me as a person, why are we so scared to let people know like this is me? Because I've seen that a lot. Like we don't want to. It's more like we want to drift away from who we are as a person. Is what we are
But
bad?
that's what you've consumed. Who you are is not good. It's not what you should. It's not the way. Even within you, if you know that it's the way, you still wanna put. You wanna do things according to what people want, what you feel like society will accept. You know. So that's what I see as a problem. Even a lot of people in the tradition, they hide it too.
So
They
why
don't
are
even
we like
because they don't
that?
want to
Why
be
do we
judged.
see?
But I'm just different. I just at one point in my life I said no. I want life I will never live is a life of trying to impress anybody or please people. I just decided that no, because I'm not even helping the world if I'm doing that. I will always do what I feel is real, is right, and I'll be transparent with everything I do. How I feel. I'm just straightforward because I feel like it's high time that the only way I think Africa at this point, or we can even my people or my society can even get anywhere is if everybody's just straightforward. Go code of hiding things in it's killing you. It's just killing you, man.
Right, as a race, yeah, we always do it. I understand. Like I don't know why
You
we
are not
get
moving
scared.
forward now.
Yeah,
You're,
we're not. We're at
you're
the
so
bottom. Like
confused.
we
You
can't.
know, when I sit down with like a lot of people that practice our tradition, like Central South America, even a lot of Europeans, and I know a lot of them. You know, when I interact, even Black Americans, when I interact with them, they're like, "We noticed something about you Africans,
They're
man."
so proud though that they're
Yeah,
being
yeah. When
accepted.
a lot of them come to, they come to Nigeria a lot. So we initiate them every day. We go
They're
to,
so proud. I
Mike,
see them. Yeah,
they,
they're
they,
so
they look
proud
at
of
us and they were like, they can't believe it, like the way
our
we are.
ancestors. Like, why are we driven away from our
Mike, let me even
ancestors?
No,
give
no, no. They
example.
talk to us in tradition like, so why do you people do things like this? Like, why do you? It's like you do things incorrectly in the sense of just in the name of pleasing or protecting feelings.
Mike,
Why do you
Mike,
make a Christian your king? Why do you make a Muslim your king when they have to have a file back or they have to go through rituals? Why do you do things? Why do you mix things? They don't understand it. They say, why? Like, why do you do things incorrectly? They
Black
just don't understand it.
man is easily to be brainwashed. Easily, they are the most easily to be brainwashed. You don't need to do
And
a
they say,
lot.
why do you see things being done wrongly and you don't correct it and you take it, accept it as normal? Those people ask me so much questions like this. Africans, we don't understand you people at all.
You
Like,
understand? They
Adi,
are easily brainwashed.
sorry, àwọn ọmọ tá a wà ní Boston bí Dọ̀kí Àgbà, one of my mentors New York, àwọn náà àwọn ṣe wọ́n school, ara wọn ò balẹ̀, ADHD, wọn ò mọ̀wé. Mike, wọn kó wọ́n lọ Nàìjíríà ọlọ́wẹ́rí fún wọn ní Ògúnsọ̀yè. Wọ́n padà báyìí wò ó. Grade yìí wò ó,
Sori
abẹ́rẹ́ ṣe.
nǹkan tó sọ ń sìn yẹn, mo ní èèyàn kan náà tó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ọmọ ẹ̀. and to God ọmọ yẹn gbà tó máa ṣe wàhálà kì báyìí A5 ló kó jọ ó dẹ̀ lọ sí OAU Canada ló wà sí ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fọmọ so ẹni tó bá sọ pé kíní ò ṣiṣẹ́ irọ́ ni wọ́n ń pa mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé an average Yorùbá man at the end of the day
No, surely, like
ó
Remy,
ní
Remy,
ìwà yẹn ló ń ṣe.
ordinarily, if not for my boy in New York, I ordinarily don't talk about it. Come on, but the law school by the law, no sorrow by people don't not can say anybody you fellow Africans knew they kind of record and you say you went to medical, you want sorrow right? It's supposed to be there. So, but I have seen it myself, so I can tell you for a fact, would it make
So,
sense?
but see, there's so many things tó jẹ́ pé àwọn other countries say they have wọ́n ti lọ ní China wọ́n ń ṣe àgbo fún mi ìgbà tí mo sick tí mo lọ sí hospital doctor yẹn sọ pé mo ti ń work too much I need to relax and láti gain energy mi padà I need more blood kí ló fún mi Chinese traditional doctor hospital ni mo lọ ó ṣe àgbo yẹn fún mi ní 1 2 3 4 5 days ó dẹ̀ wọ́n ní bí storage kan báyìí tí wọ́n mú gbogbo àwọn herbs yẹn jáde báyìí tí màá lò lọ́jọ́ Monday Tuesday Wednesday tí n bá dẹ̀ ti I will cook it for like 1.5 hours and then I will drink the water 2 days that's when Mutin feel better and they believe so much in that traditional medicine in China than even your orthodox and Western medicine and it's working for them. These are people that they never live their own tradition. They try to incorporate it together. If you go to their hospital, there are 2 sections interwoven together. Doctors, that doctor that you call a Western doctor here or wherever in Nigeria, is also the one that also tell me I should go and take that herbs. Which is a medicine. In fact, one encourage you don't always eat medicine. It's not good for your body. If sometimes once of people who need láti weather pain here for 2 or 3 days, to buy normal cold, that it will go away. And since that time, it's my habit. I don't just take medicine anyhow. But in Nigeria, any available thing, so a country as big, like 3 times size of Nigeria, that they still imbibe their own culture and tradition in everything they do, and it's working for them. They never forget.
Remy. Ṣé báwọn kan tẹ̀ ń sọ pé ó yẹ kí wọ́n abolish kábíyèsí traditional ọba.
Yeah, they're just saying rubbish because they don't understand this whole concept. If you script that one, that means you are just following Oyinbo like 100%.
Yeah, but does your kings your kings though? Does your
They would
kings
say everything was
understand?
bad back then. It was bad.
Wait, but does our kings?
That's the custodian of your tradition now.
Yeah, but
That's the
your
custodian.
kings are pastors now. Your kings are imam now. So
But
what are we saying? Why are we having those?
Just for face.
No, the king is just a face. Now I will long come. They have the reconciliation. Kings don't know shit.
Yeah, so we don't. What I'm trying to say is we don't need those kings. If you know you can practice our tradition how it should be, go be the king for your religion, your church, or your mosque. Don't be part of our institution.
Let
the people that would practice and develop and promote our tradition be our kings. What's all the people that doesn't believe in our tradition want to be head of us? We don't need them. Let the people that believe that this is the way to go promote it. That's who we need. Because everybody is scared to come out and say this is us, and we are all scared. We can what we believe in. We can't even say it out unless we run into trouble. Then we go behind closed door to get to them. Like we need this thing in public. We need people to see that we are proud of who we are as a person.
Can I come in real quick?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
It appears that this major religion, the Christianity and Islam, took over the traditional religion quite recently. Why am I saying that? I had a discussion with my mom, and I was surprised. She told me that when they were young, that was when most people started leaving the traditional religion for the two major religion we have now. So, so is it? I don't know if Mike and BT, if you guys have any knowledge of that.
I
When
mean,
did
Yeah,
this?
that's true.
for
Everyone's
me,
grandfather, at least grandfather or great grandfather, were
Yes,
traditionalists. It start almost everybody I speak to. It started with everything started during in the south. Though, it started during the British colonial era. Now,
yeah,
so that was part of
around
the
that.
colonial agenda.
Like how many years ago?
I think
Probably from
so you
statistics, what
can
I
talk
show,
about
they say by
century.
1950, by 1940s, about 80% of us in the South were still doing traditional. And then by as the years go by, as decades go by, people started living it. And from what is everybody I spoke to, it started this is how it started. They usually had their great grandfather. It's 100% tradition. And then by the time they had a kid, the first generation attended the colonial school, what they started doing was they converted, they were doing half, they were mixing, they were doing both the religion and the new religion together. It's either they were traditionalists and Muslim at the same time or traditionalists and Christian at the same time. And then by the time they had kids, and those kids were just 100% Christian, 100% Muslim.
Right, but
Yeah.
you
So and then the kids after that, those one are just gone. They're just
right,
so
gone.
but I
Okay, let me use my family example now. Let me use my family example. My great grandfather, for example, he was in fact, he was the head of Awu, 100%, like serious Awu. And then my grandfather, he went to school, and then he came. I mean, of course, he's child of Awu, practice Awu, so he was doing Awu and Islam at the same time, right? And then by the time he had my dad was just confused. So my dad was more exposed to Islam and because he's also I think he's more Christian, so he was exposed to Islam, Christianity, and tradition. So my dad going to school as well, so he was more exposed to the Christianity thing, and he's learning that oh it's bad, it's bad. So most of his siblings, all of them, most of them started picking Christianity, Islam, and then by the time he had us, most all my siblings they were were really just more exposed to Christianity and Islam. So by the time now, my siblings, all their kids now, they're just gone. They're gone completely. Gone. I'm literally the only one among my siblings because I mean, due to my destiny now, from like it was literally my destiny to return back. You understand? So that's how it goes. Within generation to generation, it's just disappearing. So it's not like it was done by force. It was the British knew what they were doing. They implanted that thing. Their goal is to eliminate that thing, that African power, the African thing, because they realize, man, we couldn't succeed the same way we succeeded in North America, South America, and Australia. We just took the land from the indigens. And they know that the Africans, these are supernatural things just in our way. So their goal is to get rid of it. So they have to play psychological game and play the waiting game. The waiting game is once a day, the African themselves will completely abandon it and they will be powerless. So it's a game that people don't know.
so
yeah,
Mike,
but that's colonization now. They
can I
use the school
let
system.
me share this real quick, Ola. So the time I came in was the 80s. You gotta remember. I think the evangelicals had they're the one that changed the game. They're the one that
Uh-uh.
really
It
won
was the
the
British behind them
oh,
now. They pump billions
yes,
of dollars behind those people now.
because even when we had the Orthodox Church back then, the Catholics, the Methodists, and the Anglicans. Even our bishop was an Ugboni member, and it was well known. Back then, that was what it was. People used to come openly to church with their regalia, so there was no difference. You can be Christian all you want, but we know what's up. That was everybody. It was open, even though they were still Christians, and that was the way it was. It was when the Pentecostals came in that I think that was when they had that shift away from being comfortable with traditional. When they came in, that one,
Well, why were they doing both traditional and church at the same time? To me, you have to be a complete like
no,
hypocrite. Like
it was formality. Like it was a formality. Like okay, like it was a
it
cool
was a
thing to do.
business. It was for money.
Like it was cool to just because remember back then we used to go to church as a family unit. You go to church with your grandfather. It was like everybody went to sing, so everybody knew you. Nobody even knew your first name. They knew you by your last name. That was the way it was. But everybody was still traditional practice. People they come to the Balu, if I want to, they come to the that same way. It wasn't there was no difference.
Why were they doing that? What was the point of doing that?
No, I mean it
Even
was
with my grandfather, my grandfather, I didn't even know it was my cousin, older cousins that told me. Because my grandfather passed away when I was very young, about 6, 7. So they used to call me Alaji Yusuf. And I thought my grandfather Babati, who first told me my grandfather was doing a civilian.
really.
Also,
Mm,
I'm serious, man. The first time I met Oson, I talked to Oson. Now the original talks now. So I
yeah.
went to the about Oson. I was saying, I was of Akakwe, the man that controls it. But away, Papa told me, Papa, civilian, don't she? I say, all this Oson talking about.
Also,
I say
also,
Oson just talking. I said, I was talking rubbish. Because I knew my grandfather's allergy,
ah,
So
yeah,
after I saw
yeah.
it, told me. So later now, I now went started asking my my cousin. Now told my cousin. He now told me like, yeah. Alaji only family. He say he was the one that always clean his room. Say my repo, yeah, oti, only. That's why I'm like, wow. That's the first time I found out. And then I wanted to go around the conversation with my dad. My dad was not like, I should keep it to myself. So they were kind of hiding it because he was like a known allergy in the neighborhood. So he kept it to himself. He was hiding it. So he just do his practice, keep his original in his room, just in his shrine, was doing it privately. That his grandkids, most people didn't. I'm like, oh my god, man.
Yeah. Once we
Yeah,
move into
but
that 90s, is when things changed. The late 80s, 90s was when that things really went
yeah,
crazy.
but
Like yeah, it
but to
was
be honest though, if you still go to like different towns in Yoruba land, they still practice this thing core. I think the
Oh yeah.
only
If you go to one thing I like about Oshun is pop league. Like literally, probably the most practiced religion is traditional. Is Oshun is
my
because first of all,
Bola Dubowa.
in
yes,
Oshun
most towns
Even a professor, you will see him
right.
in white. You'll be
that's one reason why I
that
adopt
was the
Oshun
way
as
it
my
was
new home.
now.
If
Yeah,
I realize if you go to Oshun, traditional religion is wide openly practiced, like
I
openly.
say we'll be surprised. I think majority of except Lagos, or maybe like the state capital for all the Yoruba states. Every other places they still do these things. Because I remember them when
Like
I used to
Osogbo is the capital of Osun, and you see widely practiced on
right,
Osun.
they still do it in Yoruba land. Like a lot of people still have this. I think a lot of people that are foreign, maybe they live outside Nigeria or you live in Lagos. That's us that we think maybe this thing is still not being practiced like that, but it's
No.
still practice. People still do it. They still take Oro. They still do all the masquerade festival.
Yeah. In the rural part, I'm 100%. Yoruba land is still highly traditional. It's just the problem in Yoruba land is the so-called educated people, the bourgeoisies. I really cannot stand having conversation with them. Like,
The dumb people are being
oh my God, it's like Babati. The more
ridiculous.
educated Yoruba people become, the more freaking ridiculous. The more far gone they are, man. Even Kulata, last week, I remember, he was just like, those things are nonsense. They start speaking grammar. I'm like, oh, Lord, man. It's like the more they get, the more so-called educated they call themselves, the more. And to
Yeah,
me, I don't see you as educated if you're not educated by yourself, your own history, your own. If you are
but
not even educated about, it's like they are completely ignorant about the tradition. The way they see it is just very negative, and all they understand is the
But,
negative
but,
things, and bad things.
Mike, even they themselves, they do not practice any religion too. They didn't. It's just by mouth. They don't put their heart or whatever, whether they are Christian or Muslim. They don't do it too. It's just by
No, the
mouth.
thing is, the Nigerian intellectuals
It's
are
just from
Yorubas.
them for
Once they start speaking
contempt.
grammar, they expose into, they just believe
And
the academic knowledge is
Mike, they are
is a
just
complete knowledge of
lying.
the world.
Mike, they are lying. I'm telling you, they are lying. If you can check in behind you, they still go to that Babalawa direct. They still go. So you see, look, I work with one madam in Lagos. We used to get contract from Nigerian Port Authority. This woman, if you see her, you would think say she's a half caste. Maybe the father is white. She's so clean and so pretty until I am just like a PA and manager to her. Until she took me to one Babalawo one day. I can't, that place we went, I can never forget it in my life.
See,
It's
the issue to me is not even that they go to Babalawo. Of course, they will go.
so what
Anyone.
I'm trying to say is that
The issue is just their level of ignorance and the fact
they
that
are both
they don't even want to.
they are pretending. They are
No,
most
no,
of
no.
them.
I get that. I get that. I know they are pretend. No one is saying they are not. Even Kolata, if they ask for them, they probably call me and say, "Guy, I will look to your tradition or something." The issue is not that they will never come there. The issue is just how ignorant they are about what is the concepts and the what it's about. I'm like, can you be so ignorant about your own tradition?
I
Like this is
think
basically what like for example, someone cannot even know
Can
the
I
difference.
can
What
I
is an
can I
orisha? What
clarify
is
something with
an
Mike? Before you go ahead, let me clarify something with you. So he's not here to defend himself, but with the issue with Kolota, is it that is because he's Yoruba or it's because it's particularly from Osun State that you feel like okay, Ile-Ife issue like feel a little bit more attached to the culture. If you were to be from another part of Yoruba land, you would not as be as is it because of it coming from
to me,
Osun
I
in
think
particular?
personally because we do not, for example, when we're in the primary school, we have this subject like Christian religious studies, Islamic studies. It's like it's like from the beginning, it's already rooted. And this traditional, we're supposed to have it as a language. If to say we have it as a language and deeply rooted like other subject like Islam, maybe things would have been different. But we don't have it.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't
So
have it. So
who banned it? The intellectuals, the
yeah, they
so-called.
are the one now.
They
So
are the
if
one in charge of Nigeria now. So the way the British train them, they train them to hate. See, let me tell you the game these colonialists played. You know, when they plan to leave and they plan to hand over the society to some people. So of course, that's another reason why during independence they didn't invite the traditional people or the kings they just brought some people that already took to England and America to educate. So these people, the way they educate them, they train them to just see Africa as rubbish. And
but
hold on, the way they train them, they didn't educate them to about Africa. They educated them about Europe, right?
yeah.
So what you created is like a bunch of European in black skin. So that's
But,
hold on. So now when they put them in charge, we are seeing black faces, but they are really white men in black skin. So of course they're going to do this for the interest of Europe or the way the European manner or the how European want it done because that's where they were trained.
one
And
thing I
those people are the
find
one that now hold on. Those people now are the one that will educate the next generation of people, the next generation of leaders. And Babati, you see like the private school they build in Nigeria, the curriculum, they go take British curriculum. They go to England and take the curriculum. I put it there. I'm like, why are you educating? Why are you taking curriculum of another society to educate your own people? Your curriculum should be designed based on Africa. You can take, of course, subject that's universal, is global, but the
if you be
kids in those
teaching,
private schools, they know about British history, British knowledge. I'm like, I don't know nothing about.
if you were done right, if I don't know, it should be taught in primary school, secondary. It should be part of curriculum. It should be part of your teaching curriculum
Exactly.
in school.
Some people can't know
So,
what
Mike,
Orisha is.
Mike,
Hey,
do you think the way the colonizer interfere with our development, does that have any effect on why we are not innovative,
that's
we're
the
not
root of your
creative,
problem. That's complete
and we don't
root.
have original thinking?
That's the root of our problem. And then when I look at
I agree with you
we
100%.
don't have original thinking because imagine the thing is this: most people always refer to when they came they were ahead of us, so we were stupid back then. So that's why we have to know who we are and follow them. When people
Mike, let me tell you one
society,
funny thing. Do you want me to interject you real quick and
yeah,
say
go ahead.
something funny?
Yeah.
just on this point you just made now. So I have a relative that always tell me that, oh, that Islam came to civilize us, and we back then people were living like animals.
Mm.
And I now told him that, oh, is it the same Islam that said that you can cure diseases with camel urine, which at that time our ancestors were already using roots, all
Not
these
true.
agbo
I know the point you're
to,
making, but
to
no,
exactly.
You
Islamic
see,
never told you you can do that.
no. What these people did, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
What
Um,
what what did Oriola say? Oriola, what did you say?
I know the point you're trying to make, but I don't think Islam never told you you can use urine to cure any disease. I
Who
don't
told
think so.
you? I can
well,
I can give you the hadith. It's in a hadith.
Okay. All
well,
right.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, here's the deal. Whether okay, yeah, here's the deal. Like, because let's agree that maybe these people when they came, they were technologically more advanced. Now, materially, when the people say technologically more advanced, just material products. Because the reason why people submitted to them, see them as superior, is just because they came with material that they've manufactured, able to make. And we see and we assume that that makes you more advanced than me, which necessarily not true. Now, let's say, okay, good, that's an advancement. But the difference is this: when the British or the Europeans went to China, they were more advanced technologically than the Chinese. Now, the Chinese didn't see it as, oh, wow, it's because your culture is more advanced than my culture. That's why you're materially more advanced than me. Now, technological advancement is simply group people doing the research to figure out to put two and two together and make something. Now, we can call those people scientists. Now, United States, for example, you find some of the most advanced technology, right? The most advanced material things built by scientists. Now, does it now mean like every American citizen is just a scientist or technological advanced brain, and you put him next to every African, and he's just more advanced than every African human being? Or they are, I mean, that's not the case.
Mike,
So,
that's a
Mike,
very
Mike.
brilliant. That's a very
you
brilliant
get what
point
I'm
you just
saying?
brought
Right,
up.
but Mike, they were never advanced than us when they came. Because, for example, a great example is this.
All they
Ogun
brought was just
already.
some material things that we didn't have, and we just assumed
No,
that
we
these people
have the
of this.
material things too. Ogun was making. How does Ogun know how to mine
No, we know
gold
we have
and
we know the
bronze?
basic. But what I'm saying is like,
Exactly.
hold on. What I'm saying is, time they came, yeah, they adopt, science research and making products and whatever. But it doesn't mean the entire European population were doing it. It's just a group of scientists that are doing research and doing work. You understand? It's kind of like me now. Me and you, we just two human beings, and I decide like, let me go and spend time in a lab somewhere, just learning how to put two and two together and things and see what I can make. Right? Maybe it just interests me, but you're not interested in that. Of course, within short time, I'm going to make something you're going to see. But does that mean I'm better than you? More intelligent than you, or whatever? It doesn't mean that. It's just that me had an interest in putting this and this together. It's just a matter of time with you looking at it and say, "Oh, look what Mike did. Well, let me go do the same." Right?
Yeah.
Which is what which is the way the Chinese, all those people thought were thinking. Well, that's what they thought. Like, oh, this European, this British guy, they came here. Oh, they were already. They did some things. They brought some material things that they put together, some which were very glamoring and advanced. And the Chinese is like, oh, we can do the same. And they create their own class of scientists, and so that you go into research and figure out to make their own stuff. But Africa, we say, some people bring argument to me and say, oh, your gods, you didn't have compass, you didn't know how to make this. When the white man came, look what they brought. Look, why didn't your own
That's
God teach how to make
that's
it?
not true.
And then they'll use that as a reason why we have to dump who we are, dump our
Yeah.
knowledge, and just become British, become English people. I'm like,
Wait,
oh my God.
we we've been doing all these things. They intercept our growth. That's what happens.
That's what
Slavery
I'm saying.
intercept.
Exactly.
Slavery
Exactly.
intercept our growth, and
No,
they
no, they
manipulate.
intercept our thinking, our way of our thinking process. Because just like you say,
We
Abdul,
Okay, can I ask a
Ilefe has
question?
been doing. They've been molding
Ala-
gold. All
Alanisulu,
of those things.
let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. How come the same thing was done in China and India, but some reason they were able to overcome that over time? They were able to reverse some part of it. Like they also went through the same thing, right? But unlike us,
It's
they didn't.
different though. It's different.
Uh-huh.
They didn't
But
went through slavery now.
no. But in terms of like, okay, I mean some part of, but what can we do
but
to
we
at
didn't go
least?
through slavery in Africa either.
Well, that's a different discussion
Mike.
entirely. Uh-huh.
Okay.
But how come they are able to overcome that? Like, and we still keep part of it, or they are still proud of it, but we like completely just abandon and just how
I
come?
think they get to
So
us
that's
more
the
than they
same
get to
question
them.
I'm
There's
asking
a
to BT.
way.
Why
The
did
way
we all abandon our own?
no, we should look at it like this. 14 something, they came to our coast. They started slavery. They end slavery in 18 something. Look at that different. That's about 400 years
But the
different.
slaves, they were taking them away now. They took them away. It's not like they were there. They turned us to
Yeah,
slave on our homeland. I mean, who in Yoruba land today we even know we tell you that their generations were slaves.
and
Yeah,
they
but
were
while they
So
were
what
doing
is that
it,
logic?
wait, while they were doing it, there's manipulation going on as well. Because
but
after
that no
18,
The
at the
slave era,
honestly,
there was no manipulation going on. It was the
that
colonial
was
area that the
also the
manipulation began.
colonial. But that was also happening in India and China and all those places as well. They were also colonizing those places too. So how
They were
come
there
those
too now.
people
They
are
play
able
their
to?
games, but those ones didn't fall for it.
colonization started in 1800. That's when colonization, after slavery ended,
Yeah, but
the
how
claim
No, no,
come?
ended.
no, no. In fact, our colonization was a short period, to be honest. Because when the British, the colonization process, their plan, well, it started after Berlin Conference, when they started having
Yeah,
plans to come in and start introducing. So it started in the late 18 something, and then the time the
yeah,
British actually hold on, the time the idea of concept of Nigeria began was around 1914 or something like that. You
yeah.
know, so by 1960 they were out. So this it lasted like what about 30 years or so. Or I can really you know. So it
Yeah,
wasn't they just had a plan, like, okay, we're gonna and when they did it, they work with the people. It wasn't really like they came in with force. They work with the kingdoms and they tricked them like, hey, we come here to introduce our civilization to you. That was the game. That was in the percent what they told them, and that's what the traditional rulers believed that these people are
no,
introducing this advancement to us, but not knowing that it was really a brainwashing and a long-term plan that they had, a different idea agenda that they had,
no. You have to understand that they didn't do it by themselves like that as well. The people that they already enslaved and they let go after slavery ended, they use some of those people because they educate some of them and bring them
Mhm.
back. And
Yeah, yeah.
they
They
use
use
some
those
of
people
those
too.
people to manipulate our people. But what I'm saying is, slavery was part of it, taking people out of the system, using us, and our people does not know what's going on. So by the time those people are now coming back, people that they went through slavery or they have kids during those days, they came back with hatred. They came back with hatred, like our people that remain, they don't
I
like
don't think those
some
people
of
were
us.
that relevant, though. It's just through the
It's
education. They used them in the
relevant.
education sector, but they didn't really use them to rule like that because it was
Well,
really the kings.
because if you
Uh,
went through such things for like four to 600 years, you know how many generations has already
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
through.
but those slaves that came out was mainly Liberia and Sierra Leone, though. I mean, you can't say
No,
they
no,
came back all over Africa. And,
no. Man, I don't want to go
okay,
to
give me an example in
point.
Nigeria now. Give me an example of how those people came and besides Sama Jaipada writing rubbish and a few of them,
Yeah,
But
but
tell me how they.
it's not Samuel. It's not Samuel's fault because his dad narrated stories to him. You have to understand that the people that were free came back to Sierra Leone was his dad, and that's where they gave birth to him before they sent him to
No, no,
UK.
no. Sama Jaika was captured as a kid in Nigeria, man. What are you talking about?
No, it's
So,
not.
Mike,
It's not Samuel.
What
Samuel
story is this
that
guy talking about,
Ajayi
Babati?
Crowder that wrote the thing. Is the son. He's not the dad. He's not the dad that was captured. Unless people that were writing history, they're lying. It's not him himself. And there's a
So
lot
you
of
know
them.
history more than the people that wrote the history.
so
Man,
Mike,
Anyway,
the
never
Things
mind.
Fall Apart, the book Things Fall Apart. I believe you guys all read it, right?
yeah,
So is the story like, is it narrating a true life story?
yeah. That's pretty much what was going on. So kudos
Bec-
to Gina Achebe. He saw. I mean, those people, that generation back then, they saw things. They understood. They were understanding what was going on. But like I said, they could have nipped this, like kind of like challenge these things. This uh, game that was going on. This the Europeans were playing, but like I said, just like today, many of us can see this brainwashing by the pastors and all these things, but we rather just keep quiet. Like it's uncomfortable to challenge, it's uncomfortable to expose it, to talk about it. It's our nature until we allow it to get worse and destroy society. So back then, a lot of the people saw the colonial game because they're not stupid. So that's
If I
why
may,
he was courageous enough to write book about those things, just to kind of like say document it for the future for us to know that hey, this is what we saw back then, you know.
yeah. So you have to
Mike, in
realize
that
that
book,
Shoyinka and Shina Achebe, they're kind of like the first generation that will be educated in a way when colonials started to like rule us, and they're one of the first people that went to like England or abroad to study, and they see the difference. So you have to understand that they are the first generation that understood
I don't know.
okay, Mike, in that
Right.
book, right? In
Mhm.
that book, you would notice that he kind of explained why they were unable to stop the taking over by these colonialists. He said that what happened is that those downtrodden of the society then, those the weaklings in the society that were cast aside, looked down on, that those were the people that those colonial masters took and educated them,
Yeah.
made them relevant, then they used them to
They
now
use them.
penetrate the society at large.
no,
Mm-hmm.
I
they're
see
not
that.
the only
I see
one.
that.
They
We let him land now. He's going somewhere. Come on.
go
I
Go
ahead.
ahead.
see that. I see that as a very plausible theory of how those people were able to take over. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what the game was now. So it's called divide and conquer. You have to come in, see who is more of a weak position, and you empower that person, and
Yep,
you make a slave, a servant, the king, or a slave, the king. You understand? Yeah, yeah,
yep,
or you make a slave more powerful than the king, or as powerful as the king. That slave will be loyal to you now. You understand? That person will be
exactly.
loyal to you. Like if I'm nobody and you come around, you make me somebody as great as the people that I saw as great. You understand? So that's what they were doing back then. They took a lot of the weaklings, and those were the people they kind of like took out there to educate them and turn, westernize and give them all those things. And then when they were leaving, those are the people that put in a lot of position of power, like in the
Exactly.
military. Like when those are the people that took the England to Sandals to make them the soldiers, the generals, all those things. If you go look at the history of this Apache of them, they were all a bunch of guys from the villages that don't know, they were not relevant, and they became generals and all those things, And then some the ones they made them politicians. So when they were leaving, they just handed it to them.
Yeah,
And you
well,
think those people
I
will now want those kings or the traditional, the real powerful people of society to now become powerful again? No way.
well,
So
I don't
they will
well,
forever be loyal to the British.
Yeah, but I think that was later on when they started using when they were training military guys. The people they were using are the people that come back from those that they freed. Because you have to remember, what's this guy named that one that was standing up to them back in 1914? I forget his name now. He has English name, totally English name. Those ones are just free slaves that
Yeah,
now
they use
come
those
back
ones
into
too. There's no question
society.
about that.
Those are those ones that come back into society. We understand they use us against us. And if we look at it today, it's still the same thing that's going on. People as that mentality of divide and rule is still the same thing that goes on today. Like you will you will bring some people up and you will make them listen to you and you use them to face other people. That's the same thing that still goes on. We still follow that colonial mentality all the way from politics to our the police, every single thing. We still do the same thing. So it never changes and we can't think on our own sometimes. That's what I see. Like a lot of people cannot think outside the box that okay, is this the best way for me to treat my own people? Because if you think outside the box, you won't think um like the police, for example, not having the proper tools to do their job will be a good thing. So there's a lot of things that we learn from them, but we still keep that. And even some of the things that they used to rule us today, you hear that this law was made back when the colonial era, and that law still exists. Why? Like so many things is just like we still we still lashes on what they taught us. Like we can't change them, and I don't understand why we couldn't.
But the problem now is not even changing what they taught us because um, although they colonized us, they still gave us some stuff. They gave us hospitals, they gave us formal school.
Yeah, in this
What
life,
I
yeah, they say you have activity, everything good come with bad, everything bad come with good. So
exactly,
there's nothing
exactly.
that
So
you
the
can bring. I
point
can't take good out of it. So
yeah,
yeah,
the point I'm trying to make is that I realized we never improved on them.
Abdul, you know what I always call the so-called colonial, people call colonialism, colonial era. I don't call it colonial era, I call it an exchange era. You understand?
Uh-huh.
Because they themselves couldn't have come in and have their wave. They don't come to give something. You understand?
Yep.
They needed to give something to take. They may have taken more, yeah, good, but hey, they gave something. So it's up to you now to say, okay, wow, this is that they gave. Okay, let me take the good that they gave, and then don't lose
Exactly.
yourself. Yeah. So,
We
well, a
never
lot of,
improved on them.
yeah,
I look
just
at for example, let me give an example. I realized that the lab, right, the hospital settings, the curriculum the colonizer gave us that we were using, maybe in 1960. If you go and look at it, it's still basically the same thing. They're still using now that even the colonizer have moved on. They've done research, they've contributed, they've expanded the body of knowledge, they've uh, uh, deleted or
do you know the reason
expunged.
for that? Do you know the reason for that? And that's why I always
Yeah.
tell people like, we have to take a step back. If you don't create something, you can't understand it. You understand? And you can't really improve on it.
Mm,
For example,
mm,
the man that designed Mercedes Benz, right? He also drives Mercedes Benz, right? Now
mm.
you that didn't design the Mercedes Benz, and I give you the Mercedes Benz, I only teach you how to drive it, how to use it, right? But you didn't create it. You're not. There's no way you can improve on that Mercedes Benz or do much with it. You understand? You can only know how to drive it and just drive it and drive it until it dies, right? So
You know,
So what it is they designed the system, gave it to you, and told you how to operate it. You understand?
we have a
Whereas,
You have a point, though.
You see
I
what I'm
agree
saying?
with you.
So the
Exactly. As a
system.
matter of fact, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you just like you said, they keep improving on the same system they gave us, right? Because they designed when they were designing it, they know what they were thinking while they were designing it. The
True.
pieces, the administrative, why we have to create the administrative, the, compartments or whatever. You gotta. They have reasons why they create everything, even their curriculum, everything. They add everything was just not. It's not like it didn't come out of the thing yet. They had a plan. Why everything was created and they understood every component of it and the purpose why it was created and where it's supposed to take them to. They understood it. You understand? But they created it and they're like, oh, now they saw Nigeria as an extension of England. It's part of their colony. So the administration, they brought it there. So now when they were leaving, they now train you on how to operate the system, just like they will train you how to how to drive your car. It's like giving you a manual. A manual to the vehicle does not mean you now understand how the vehicle was made, how to improve on the vehicle. You just understand the manual. The manual is only simply how to drive it. So what we have in
You know,
Nigeria is
right?
that the system was given to us, and all we're doing is just operating the system.
You're 100% right, Mike. And sure, to add to your point, if did you read this book, The Cheap War, about this semiconductor, The Cheap War? I've forgotten the guy that wrote that book. In that book, the guy narrated how the Russians sent spies to America to copy, as in exact replica, they copy the technology of how America were making the chips. But unfortunately, they can reproduce the chip, but they cannot improve on it. And why? It still boils down to the point you just made now. They did not conceptualize it.
Exactly.
So it was hard for them or harder for them to improve on it. They couldn't improve on it. And that was why America still left them in the dust because they have the original thinking. Then
Exactly.
I think
Can you
China
imagine?
is the first country in the world that were able to beat America at that game because they also copied, but they they I don't know how they did it. But now at this point, China already have original thinking that they don't even need to copy that much anymore. As a matter of fact, they are now producing their own technology.
Did you read that part of Chino Achebe's book where he talked about when one white man came to this village, and then the guys they saw the white man, they saw his bike, they were all happy to see him,
Yeah,
and then
yes,
the
yes.
oracle now told them, right? When the oracle told them that white man it was not there for good, and they went and attacked the white man, and killed him.
And killed him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
the
the,
oracle told them to prepare, but they did not.
Yeah, and it not. So in Yoruba land, all those stories are there. We know it because we consult like in Africa, the system we had, even to today, like our system, even governance system, we um we don't do anything without the consulting the oracle. You understand? We literally can't do anything without the guidance of the orishas. Especially the deity. We know we have different deities. There's a deity called Rumila. It's a deity of wisdom. You understand? It's supposed to be the guidance of African life. We don't do anything without consulting the Father on Rumila. So I thought the British would have came like, okay, how can we break this guy's system? Like literally, how can we trick them when everything we say they will go consult the oracle. The oracle will tell them we are lying to them or being honest with them, whatever. So they found out that this is so difficult. You understand? Their original system is so difficult for us to break them. So we have to give them, we have to replace it with something different. So that's why they have to create a new system, a new class of people, and hand it to them and put them in charge. And then they demonize your own old system.
Yep, yep.
What propaganda. I think we got to take a step back to find out where we're coming from, man, so we can know where we're going.
Thank you very much. I was gonna propose that I don't think you can really, because we've been going on this for so long and we're not making progress.
We're not making
So
progress, man. We started on the wrong foot. The foundation was terrible.
exactly,
We're going on,
exactly,
someone else designed the foundation for you. So you're going on the wrong foundation. Your way forward is to design your own path. You understand? You
exactly.
have to design your own
So
system. You can look at someone else's, your inspiration, draw ideas from people, but you don't, someone cannot create a system for you, design a path for you. You can never go, you reach your
it's
destination
difficult to
with someone
improve on
else's path.
that. Yeah, you cannot improve on it. And
Yeah.
that's what we're suffering for right now. We're just like a fossil of in the past. We,
And when I try to say like someone like Kolata just see me as someone talking rubbish. And that's what I said earlier. Most of the biggest problem are the people that call themselves so-called educated. You know, because they consume this Western education. And if you think about it, most all these guys that are Nigerian that will tell you they are educated, they're so smart. They can't make anything. They're not making nothing. They just speak good English and they can break
that's the
down
problem.
they can break down the how to operate the manual, like I see the system and but they don't make anything. In fact, to me, I see those people we call the backward people as more productive because they know how to farm, they know how to make at least traditional products, the things that Asian forefathers taught them how to make. They make the people that make things in Africa actually the people from the old time, the rural
Hmm.
people, the people that are not educated. The so-called educated one will just go to school and all we do is look for job and we speak good English. We just exposed to Western world. That's it. But we don't know how to make anything from the Western world.
No, they don't. It's a matter of fact, there was a professor in Australia that said that I think Chinese and one other country's student, they're the only student who are truly interested in understanding the original concept of what they're being taught. That all other students from other countries, they just want to pass and go.
Especially Nigerian Africans. Give me grade. I see so many of them. They come to school here now. Some of them, they cheat. Get the grades and move on and go back and go and get a best job. Go and get a good. And they don't. What are they doing? They just, they can't produce anything, man. There's no productivity going. They import everything. The machinery, everything we use, we import.
That's
Whereas
why when you
the
see
people we call dummies, they can't speak English. Those don't have the native intelligence.
exactly. Well, when you see a Nigerian professor, you see just speak
They
English,
just
and you
speak
just
English.
go and check. He has not done anything. Even most of his publications are not, they're just peer-reviewed publication, no original thinking in their publication, nothing. And you say he's a professor, I look at it, I'll say, uh,
The
so
Nigerians say you
I
speak
look,
good English. Now, when they want to employ people, they look for people who speak the best English.
yes, I look at America, they have issues. Before you know, they'll call their professors, understand, from universities to come and give suggestion and opinion on those issues. No wonder in Nigeria, the politicians don't bother doing that because they know these professors don't know shit. They prefer to just go to this Western country and just copy their system.
You just memorize theory. The thing they're teaching you, they don't know how to make it.
They don't. When
All you learn is just the manual. Like I said, what we are learning is like the man that made the car. He knows how he make the car. Now, what they give us in our so-called education is just a manual to the car. And the manual is only
yeah,
teaching you how to drive the car, how to turn on the headlights, how to match the brake, how to, that's all we're learning. And how to change the tire, know how to make tire, know how to make the part.
exactly.
So that's all we're consuming. And we become expert of the manual. It's like now, like I'm an expert about my Mercedes Benz, tell you everything I can drive, and now I think I'm so educated. You're not educated until you know how to make design, how to make that car, every piece of it, the technology, how to make that's real education right there. You don't
That
come
is
and tell me how to
exactly.
drive the car, how to operate the car, and you say you're educated.
Mike,
And then
have you been to any of the train stations? All this one they're making noise about that. Oh,
can you
we have
imagine?
train, we
The-
have train, they build train Abuja to Kaduna, Lagos to this. If you go there, you'll be disappointed. You know why?
Hmm.
Because the first day I went there, I said, why are they calling this Nigerian Railway Corporation? This is China Railway Corporation. They build it, they maintain it. Even the drivers are Chinese.
The driver.
Yes, I
Do
swear
you know what's
the
really funny, right?
drivers are Chinese.
You, you know they could have the money they use to buy the plane, then buy the train, and they can invest that money into research on how to make it plane,
R&D,
how to make it train.
exactly. That is why I said we don't value knowledge in Africa. We
They could put
don't
that
know
money to research on just find your best minds, your most gifted physics students, all those mechanical,
listen.
and tell them to go and do research. The what we need to start doing is research. Just research on how to make things. No memorize. I mean, education. What they call education is just rubbish, man.
Look
It
at what
produces
China did.
graduate. They can't make anything. They're looking for jobs.
Yeah, look at what China did. If you come to their country to do something like that, you must collaborate with a local company
Exactly.
so that as you are
And
making money from them,
they go with you to take it apart and figure out to make.
yes, as you are making money from them, the local partners are learning. They're learning. Before you know, they'll take over. That's how China developed. But you saw call something Nigeria Railway Corporation. The rail was built by the Chinese, the train by the Chinese, maintenance the Chinese, even driving to drive the train is the Chinese people. And you have people, you have engineering school, you have graduates, you have
Nigeria, they
professors.
call everybody engineer, engineer. How can you call
And
yourself engineer?
nobody even
You can't
see it.
engineer anything.
They don't even, they're not even ashamed. That's even the worst part of it.
Honestly,
They're
we have
not
no shame, man.
ashamed.
As black people, I'm sorry. We are the most
They're
shameless
so,
race of people.
oh my goodness. They are so proud of it. Train, Abuja, Kaduna, there's AC inside.
You
This.
know those Ajabo children now. They will now be looking down on the poor children. They can't afford to ride a plane. As they see,
Exactly.
they will say, "Me, I've been on the train. I know the train. The train, yeah, I'm better than you now." You know. So now, because now you can enter the train, now you're better than you're more civilized. No, they will say they are more civilized. You know, Nigerians, once they are exposed to a foreign product, and another person that hasn't seen it, now they think they are more civilized than you.
Yes. They think they're already one step ahead of you.
I'm like, dude, you are not anywhere civilized. You know, you are just exposed to something, to material. That's all. You want to prove to me that you are civilized now, you're not better. Tell me, make it.
Exactly.
The way they'll look down
Exactly.
on those people that are from the rural part, like how those people are dumb, they are not civilized. No, you are not civilized. None of us are civilized. You can't make anything neither. You just exposed to it. That's all.
You see, I wish people think the way you think because I read a book and the guy said, for you to make progress, you first have to accept that you don't know.
Exactly.
That if you cannot fight that instinct to tell yourself that you don't know, there's no way you can now go
Do you know?
ahead.
Do you know why? Do you know? You know. One thing I learned in philosophy is that if you want to advance, you need to go back to your childhood, be a child again.
You
You
have to
understand?
think like a child.
Because
Yeah,
children, the reason why children they can learn 10 languages in a short time is because in the process they believe the children have said that they don't know. You understand? Children
Yes.
will learn things quick because they use their original mind to absorb.
They're curious. They're curious. They want
Yeah,
to learn. They
children, they're
want to
curious,
know.
exactly, because they believe they don't know, so they just soak it. But adults, the reason why they struggle to learn new things is because when they're approaching
The
their
brain is already set.
information, they already know, they're using the existing knowledge to comprehend what they're being, taught.
Exactly.
They may even start
Exactly.
arguing against what is being presented to them.
Exactly. That's
So
the
they
problem.
struggle. Mhm.
The brain is already set. The brain is no longer plastic. It
Yeah,
can absorb new information.
old dog can't learn new tricks.
Exactly. That's why you see you sometime on this platform, I see a lot of people after they analyze, they will now say, "Oh, what's exactly our problem? Is it that we're cursed? Why can't we make progress? Why can't?" But you don't know that to solve problems, you need to learn how to do things yourself.
Exactly.
You need to learn that. You cannot just think, oh, we have problem. How did they do it there? You go copy it, bring it down. And copying is not even bad. But if you just copy it, then you now go and call the people you copied from to come and help you do it.
Hmm.
And you think those people will not take advantage of you?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. But anyway, let
All
me
right,
let me
call it a day then.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk later, man. Let me end the show, man. I gotta go
All right,
come.
thanks, man.
Yeah.